What's up, everybody? Welcome to another day of MAG1 League. So, today we've got the semifinals. Things are pretty hype. This is for sure going to be the strongest group we've ever had, probably in all of Mechabellum esports together. We got a balanced day today. We got two 501s, Sako and Arbiter, and two 201s, Agrypnocoma, and these Chinese characters are, of course, Flower Fairy, is what we call him. I'm super excited for today. Rooster will be joining us shortly here. Welcome, Rooster Raiders. Very exciting day today. Up first, we're going to have Sako and Agrypnocoma. That should be a pretty nice match here. Agrypnocoma has been really shocking us. I think getting this far was really just surprising, and he's been looking super strong. He actually got out of his group first, so really just showing that he's actually a top contender. Of course, there had to be somebody who is going to be the fourth contestant here, but otherwise, these three players are just complete monsters. So I think anything could happen today. Yeah, really excited. Of course, if Sako makes it to the finals once again, that would be absolutely crazy. There is potential for even a rematch between Flower Fairy and Sako, because that was the finals of the season one. And Sako really handed it to Flower Fairy in that last season one finals. He won 3-0, I believe. But Flower Fairy did beat Sako in the group stage, so showing he can punch back, maybe he's gonna get the better side of Sako this season. If they even get in at all. I mean, anything could happen. Could be Agrypnocoma getting through and Arbiter. We have a brand new set of finalists here, so really really a lot to look forward to today. Now my prediction of course has to be on Sako, but after that, I mean, I could see Flower Fairy, I could see Arbiter, even a Agrypnocoma. I mean, anything's possible, of course. We'll have to see if anybody's cooking up something special. What's up, Rooster?
Hello, hello.
What a crazy day today we have, huh?
Yeah, we do. Um, we saw a Arbiter versus Sako show match, and both of them happened to be in this semis as well. And then, we've got Flower Fairy, who probably doesn't need any introduction as like one of the best players in the game, maybe even the best player for 201. And then Agrypnocoma has kind of been, yeah, taken us by surprise, maybe. He's been looking very solid, ending games on like round six. And yeah, just been looking fantastic so far. So it should prove to be a very, very good day.
Yeah, no kidding. So we can see the player cards here, and Sako is from Canada, boasting an almost 2400 MMR. Craziness. His aggressive tempo style, he likes to get the towers, and his favorite unit is the hacker. As far as Gripnocoma, he's from China. He's a standard Andy with supply SBC, taking it nice and slow despite winning many games quickly. And he likes the Raiden. Yeah, new production guys. We got the 3D models. I think that looks pretty slick. Props to the production behind the scenes. Always improving things.
Yeah, love that.
So this first matchup here between these two really could be a slow one. Agrypnocoma is a standard Andy, and do you think he's played aggro at all in the Mag1 League this season?
I don't think he's played it in Mag 1. He has played aggro into me once on ladder. And I again his rounds or his games have just been ending on round six, right? As far as I know. So even if he's a defensive player, the outcome is very aggressive, if you could say.
Yeah, for sure. Arbiter's saying he played aggro in Mag1. Okay, maybe one match. People do mix it up, so that's nice to see. We'll have to see if that happens here. As we are loading in here, let's see what they're going to go for here. See Mustangs in a couple packs here. I don't think Agrypnocoma will be going for those ones.
Yeah, he doesn't have the best ones. The aerial spec pack has a lot of hit points and maybe is playable. Sabretooth spec, maybe the most solid. Oh, we do get Steel Ball Fang. That's not very common, at least so far in Mag 1.
Yeah, possibly meaning he's going to do aggro. And yeah, that's a lot of HP, so Might be in for a slow game. It looks like Sako's packs are a little bit lower HP. He does pick up his favorite SPC here. He loves Rhino. If you're watching his YouTube content, you can see he always talks about that.
That's a good matchup here as well. Sledge into Steel Ball is usually a good time, and I would expect to see a defense coming out from Sako.
Yeah, he's been loving these center defenses because he's just worried that, if you guess the wrong side, you're going to feel really bad. Some of your sledges may even just run to the tower but never get it.
Also, I just want to point out Sako is running Assault Marksman. Uh,
Wow.
now, I'm not making any promises, but it is there. It is there.
Could be a secret technique he's been doing. I mean, he's got a lot of practice partners. He does practice with Arbiter, but Arbiter's in here, so I doubt he's been doing that. But he could be practicing with his 201 partner Kono and trying it out. And he does have alt accounts to try and, obfuscate his practice regiment.
Oh, imagine that. Secretly,
Got
Assault
Link.
Marksman has been powerful all along.
Yeah. So he's got Link as well on the sledges. So kind of bringing out the spice today. I feel like he's he probably went over all his text before coming in today, I feel.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that's something that gets used. I've seen a lot of people at High Mamar just run the field maintenance as a just a defensive option. But
Yeah, for
seeing
sure.
something like Link come out, that would be very spicy.
Yeah, I mean, they can combo well together, like Link and Regen. You just have so much HP, and you're always able to regen because they share that damage.
Now let's see how this plays out. Round one, Sako only has the sledgehammers for chaff clear, which probably will be just about enough against the Fangs, but he should be looking to get something a little bit more dedicated.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, pretty standard plays from both players to start things off. Probably trying to play pretty conservative in their first game here. Probably going to see what the unit reinforcements bring. For now, it looks like the balls probably need to get onto tower here to have a chance. The marksmans are honestly picking them apart really nicely here.
Yeah, this triple marksman start has been doing quite well. Just all around, I think the DPS is fantastic in this first round, and things are looking good for Sako.
Yeah, probably crawlers would have done a lot better here, but Fangs is what he's working with. Of course, he does have 5,500 HP, so absolutely no problem there. And we could see something like Wraith or Wasp come out since he is aerial.
Round
Bunch of
two.
unit modification cards, but deployment modules and nice equipment here.
Yeah, it looks like the only pickable thing. You could also go for the improved War Factory. That thing still packs an incredible punch, but it is a little bit telling. But
Yeah,
it can also introduce some mind games. Like, hey, your board needs to be able to deal with a War Factory because if not, I'll just buy this thing.
yeah, definitely. Sako's known to really like War Factory. Maybe not lately, but I have seen some players be bringing it back, like Dillo, for example. So something to look out for sure. But it looks like the deployment module has been picked up here. Agrypnocoma switching sides. It looks like maybe Sako just going to be holding on to it.
Yeah, I like this play from Agri, realizing that he doesn't really have much to accomplish on the right side. Again, the steel balls into the sledges is just not a good time. So if he can get a little bit of tempo out of it with something like the deployment module, I think he'll be happy.
I guess like the sledges are horizontal, so if you had like the right angle that you're coming in at, you could try and abuse that, but maybe it just doesn't matter. There's too much chaff for now.
I
No
wonder what
Phoenixes
else will
round
be
two.
picked up.
You see, seems like more conservative play to me. Just both players taking it pretty easy here. Actually, we do get a flank coming out from Agrypnocoma, already looking to peel apart the board of Sako.
Yeah, and he just went double crawler, one arclight there for Agri. Very slow setup. We might see like range arclights or something, and then perhaps Agri will try and play a bit of a longer range game after all.
I guess that is possible. Yeah, he's got the fangs and arc lights, and then the balls he can sell out of. Of course, he does have the deployment module as well, so and the flank, so maybe a bit of incentive to keep doing aggro, but definitely anything's possible. Might depend on the unit reinforcements.
Steel balls here will connect to the tower, so that's a nice debuff, and we are kind of seeing this chaff clear problem here for Sako. One pack of fangs still alive, undealt with, and so the marksman couldn't really hit their targets.
Yeah, much better round there, but not huge damage. Sako's just waiting for his Rhino, then he'll get a bunch of tempo. Agrypnocoma does have, like, boats as an option here. Still no unit reinforcements, though. We do have giant manufacturing and nano kit that's jumping out to me. I mean, even mass produced Phoenix gives Agrypnocoma a lot of plays here.
I love that card. That card sometimes is so powerful.
Yeah, for sure. Really, really powerful card. Both players
But yeah,
actually taking their time here. Like, this is a difficult decision, I think.
we get the skip from Agri. That's somewhat surprising to me. I think there were a lot of good options available.
Yeah, maybe like Phoenix is scary for some players with how popular Fort AA is right now, but it is a powerful card. Not really committal either.
I mean, efficient giant manufacturing was available too, right? So if either player wants to try their hand at something like a Fortress comp, then that's your entry ticket.
Yeah, I mean, look how much time Sako is spending on this. Like half his deployments phase is already gone. He's probably thinking
Yeah,
the
he's
entire
going through
time,
the
but
motions. Okay, Nano.
very cool. I mean, Link is good with Nano, by the way. I mean, there are balls though, but you know, is an option. Might just be holding on to equipments though. No, we're equipping it. That's a powerful sledge.
It is for now. I wouldn't be too surprised if it gets sold eventually. I mean, if like a big giant shows up, you might want to retrieve that item.
Yeah, for sure. And then Sako bought what? Arclights, just trying to defend these crawler flanks. Definitely realizing chaff clear is his problem and gets more chaff as well.
Steel balls this time around find their way onto the right side thanks to the deployment module. Keep in mind, Sako has one as well, but hasn't made use of it just yet.
Yeah, the mobile beacon
Can
here
these
looking
steel
pretty
balls
good.
connect? Oh, just the one.
Threaded the
That's
needle there.
so insane for Agri. 9 seconds of debuff. He'll be very happy with that.
Yeah, and so much juicy experience as well. Blue marksman, blue sledges, and just completely crushing the round, it looks like.
Second steel ball that wasn't leveled also picked up enough experience on this round. And it's going to come down to these nano sledges, but nano doesn't do too much against these tiny melters. And that is going to be another round for Agri.
Yeah, decent damage too, maybe around like 700. But Sako does now get his rhinos. Let's see what he does with it. He could sell it. He has a deployment module as well, the nano kit. So huge amount of options here.
Yeah, wow. What about four rhinos?
Yeah. Yeah, that could be a lot of tempo here.
I mean, into steel ball and triple saber, I think probably not, but
Probably not. You do have a tarantula starting kit here.
I mean, would you? I mean, Tarantula probably is playable here, weirdly enough, for Sako, I would say. But
Yeah, I think so.
he picks up the Farseer. It is like the safe option. It's kind of good against everything. Gives you some more anti-air, protects you against potential wasp cheeses.
Yeah, and it's the best sell, I suppose. And nice on lock, maybe one could say.
Yeah, and it is a mercenary unit, unlike the other ones.
Yeah. So three sabers. I mean, that's pretty sweet here. Definitely a lot of firepower that he was lacking. You can't really rely upon steel balls for your single target, so pretty nice pickup here. Decent aggro unit in general.
Absolutely. And three deployments is really not something you can underestimate either. Like that is some crazy value. You can get six deployments on the given turn if you'd like.
Yeah, definitely. What do you
And
think
same
about
for
this rhino?
Sako. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I'm not sure if it's going to get through because there are two sabers in front of it. It's a bit risky for him, but I think it's worth still going for this play anyway. Um, I think any other matchup, he would probably have a better chance. But yeah, into like double steel ball and saber drop there. Oh, and the
It's almost a
missile.
disaster, honestly.
Yeah, it's
Like
just
that's
a
your
bit
SBC
rough.
right there.
I mean, it's 300 resources still. So I'm sure he'll be retrieving those resources very swiftly.
Yeah. Well, he's handling the balls really well. The missile on the left took care of it for the most part. On the right, it's just getting completely stomped by the Farseer. Marksmans are nice and safe for now, so pretty nice round.
Middle is still putting up a fight though for Agri, and those
Oof.
level 2 marksmen give a solid amount of experience. So both sabers there already able to level up.
Yeah,
And
maybe
it's
actually
closer than it was looking. This saber might
definitely
just oh, it will. Wow.
brutal.
Tag team.
Yeah, not bad. pretty good levels there as well. Something he might be considering here. A bunch of Arclight levels too.
Yeah, I gotta say this board looks really solid from Agri. I'm gonna be curious to see how Sako solves it, because obviously, like, he has a Rhino that doesn't really belong there. The Sledgehammers, one of them is hoarding an item. Farseer is good, but not if you don't really have like a main source of like DPS. Um, so he has like a couple of problems to solve.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
well, I guess there it is. If you got problems, this is the unit to buy in the current state of the meta.
Yeah, yeah. It makes some sense. Like there was a super supply there as well, so maybe he likes the fort because Agrypnocoma could go for that, and then he has the tempo to make this happen. But Agrypnocoma goes for additional deployment slots, so he can go really wide here with sabers if he wants, and he might just be able to tempo Sako out of the game. Fortresses do take a while to get going.
They do, but for now, the Sabres don't have any advantage in terms of range. So I could see some good lock-ons here being fine for Sako. Obviously, Fang Spawn is going to have really good value here against both the Arcs and the Sabres down the line, but let's see.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely curious to see improved firepower is put on a level 1 Farseer. That feels like extremely underwhelming to me. Like it's probably better than skipping, of course, but I don't know. I feel like the items have not been really great. Like this nano on the sledge, not feeling good either.
Yeah, you'd probably want that onto like a level 2 Fortress if you manage to level one of them up, but at the same time, Sledgehammers are great chaff against Sabres.
Yeah,
So like
definitely.
selling out of it would feel a bit bad.
Looks like the
Oh,
balls are getting on the left.
yeah, that's a
A
nice
lot of
beacon, and he pulled the units with some fangs.
oof. Yeah, this is looking pretty rough. Big tower pressure. Fortress is falling. Lots of arc lights left. A bunch of them leveled up here. Just a strong, medium-sized army here from Agrypnocoma. Huge tempo.
Now, if you're Sako here, what do you prioritize? Do you go range Fortress first or Fang Spawn Fortress?
That's a tough question. I'm feeling like a range or something. Like I think sentry missiles is the short term answer here, and then otherwise you just need to beat sabers, which either is fangs if he under does the chaff clear, or range if he doesn't.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think if you the problem is if you go Fang Spawn, you'd really want at least 4 fortresses, and ideally you'd be able to get shield on the fangs as well. But
Yeah,
that's still a bit expensive on round 6. And I mean, he just took an even more expensive item, Steel Ball Production. It's great value, but on 1600 hit points, that
yeah,
is starting to get a bit scary.
yeah. I'm with you. I think a bunch of sentries need to come out. Agrypnocoma could take mobile beacon number 2, but instead goes for the intensive training. Probably just trying to get either a Giga Ball or a Giga Saber here.
We get lots of repositioning here for Sako. So those level 2 sledges did get sold. The Nano goes onto the Fortress, the Steel Ball production line onto the other, and then that deployment module finally gets put to use to try and protect this left Fortress from that Steel Ball approach.
Got melters coming out. Wow. So that is anti-air, so I do understand it from that perspective. But from another lens, the Saber should be more than enough DPS. So it feels like there's some unnecessary DPS being added to the table.
Yeah, I think what Agri here is doing is he's looking at his hit points and saying, I'm still sitting at 5.1k, and the long-term comp of Arclight Melter should be better than Saber Arclight. So I think that's what he's going for.
Yeah, it does make sense. Like if the fortresses get out of hand, or like if war factories come out, though that would be probably unlikely. We also have oil coming down. That's going to be really strong here, I think. The melters do not have range yet, so the fortresses with their range technology are 25 meters extra range compared to them. So should be pretty good for Sako here.
Yeah, that is a clutch pickup, I would say. Going for range on the Fortress this turn into those unranged melters, it should enable him not to lose too much on this given round.
Yep, maybe gonna equalize the HP a little bit, chip damage at a time here. Kind of a lot left, honestly. This is like maybe
That's
like
big
2k
damage.
damage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Holy.
5.1 down to 2.6. Wow, that's almost 1500 damage.
Yeah, 2500. Crazy.
2500, sorry, yeah.
Unit reinforcements once again. We got two air options and two medium-sized ground options here. I mean, boats are pretty good on aggro, and he's aerial specialist. Not sure what to expect here. Maybe money for Sako. No, actually, he wants bodies.
Yeah, I mean, money is nice, but they're a bit of an awkward sell, to be honest. Like, Overlord is not even worth that much,
Yeah, true.
because you have to pay 200 for it. So just getting like triple deployments and some additional chaff to your board doesn't seem too terrible. Also, Typhoons are kind of annoying for Melters to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. Could be clutch. Maybe a little bit of extra chaff clear. Could be great as well. Both players actually going for it. Of course, Typhoons are like pretty S tier aggro. Maybe it's a bit late for them, but they're still handy.
I'd love to see the two level ups on the fortresses in front of the tower for Sako, if he
Yeah.
can afford it.
Yeah, I mean, you
Oh,
gotta
but we get
brawl the
Shielded Fang.
Melters.
Yeah, like getting that DPS buff, and I mean, I guess
Huge.
you have the nano value would be
Yeah.
nice.
Both players doing temp range and temp speed. Very interesting there. Like, no loan, but like they're definitely both committing to these temporary power ups. Now the loan comes out for Sako here. Does take the level that you wanted, both of them.
Yeah, I love that. There's also a level on the melter there for Agri, so being able to contest that melter level is
Yeah,
going to be
true.
really important.
We'll see how
I'd
well
like
the
to look
Fang
at the
Shield
right
does.
side though. This right side is going to be crucial. We've got level 3 steel balls moving in.
Yeah. Looks
Oh,
like
but the
it's handled.
crawlers. Yeah,
Great
those
defense
crawlers doing
there.
a great job there.
Yeah, hard to say what's going to happen here. It's all about the chaff in front of the melters. Not much chaff left here, so the fortresses and the melters will now start to fight each other. A lot of lock-ons for Agrypnocoma, maybe losing on the left though.
Yeah, left fortress putting up a fight, and there's one more coming in on the right side. Keep in mind, Sako did manage to put down the resources for Shielded Fang last turn, and so you know what's coming this turn. That Fang production has been set up.
Yeah, absolutely. Big win there for Sako. He got the tower debuff right at the end here. We get some one equipment, two spells. I don't think they want the stat buff here. Looks like haste probably for a fort. It's all about the melters and the fortresses brawling each other here.
Yeah, these are just cheap items that give really valuable stats. So getting the 40% attack, and then on the improved, getting that 70% bonus attack is going to be real useful when the fortresses find their targets and start shooting at the melters.
Yep. We have electromagnetic barrage here on the melters, so that gets rid of the range. It also will take off the portable shield on the fangs. So kind of just a good tech in general. Pops bubbles as well. Definitely makes sense to pick that up at some point.
The first salvo, though, I don't think will be that useful. And if we look at the two left melters, they're both going to shoot at that front crawler from the looks of it.
Yeah, really clutch crawler there. We have some storms coming out, so preempting the fire against the fangs with shield. Well, not really preempting it, but
Okay.
you know the production from the fortresses is preempted. Oil as well. Ooh, that's powerful.
That is going to hurt. Sako already used all of his resources, so that will not get blocked.
No bubbles. I feel like maybe that's a like something he didn't think about. I'm not sure though.
I mean,
That
it
that
can
looks
feel
so
bad
good.
to like bubble up, right, into melters. I don't know.
No, definitely, yeah.
Well, let's see. There's going to be
There's the
no chaff
fire.
on the right side. For now, though, no lock-ons with the EMP, so those fortresses still have all of their techs available.
Yeah, just a bit more chaff to get through here. Some crawlers streaming in. We do have arc lights and fortresses pretty much everywhere.
And despite the fire on the left side, those melters still getting stuck on a couple of fangs that were managing to make their way through. Oh, EMP salvo there at the end.
Yeah, it's crazy how Sako keeps winning the left side. I just keep not expecting it, but
I mean, it's
once
the side
again,
that didn't have the oil, so
yeah. Well,
the
maybe a
fangs
good
there
sign.
are. Yeah, I mean, okay, he does lose the round here, but this can get scary now for Agri. Because that was
Yeah,
awfully
definitely.
close.
That was close. The oil is gone. It's no longer a possible card to drop. We do get Underground Threat and Speed as two tempo options here.
Love the advanced power system pickup there. It's so valuable in for these fortress comps.
Yeah, fortresses need really fast movement speed because they are outranged by a lot of their counters. Agrypnocoma though, with the two packs of crawlers in the spell, basically. I mean, a lot of late crawlers is going to be pretty powerful here. There's no like ground effects like fire or anything, so not a bad move, I think.
And we just get how many fortresses was that? Triple fortress?
Yeah, you can't get better than that. Probably some good levels here as well. At the very least, the one with the improved firepower control system. Drill on the crawlers. What is that
I
about?
think that's like preemptive in case Sako went for the underground and teched his crawlers as well. Because like the backside of
Yeah,
Agri is very unprotected, so a crawler tech for Sako would have won that.
yeah, that makes sense. I feel like you could do like one more missile in the dead center and like you're kind of safe, but I digress. I guess it's fine. It doesn't cost much. It's just like 150 for impact drill these days. AMD in the front here, lots of them, but four for Sako here. I personally never buy them against EMP melters. I don't know if like there's. It just seems like it wouldn't block it to me.
I mean, it's mostly to try and protect from the fire, I imagine, but
True. Okay, that makes sense.
the problem here that Agri is going to have is he only has 3 Stormcallers with fire, and that usually just isn't going to be enough. Even if none of it gets intercepted, there's just too many fortresses with too many fangs to hit everything.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And the AMD is of course going to help out in that regard. I mean, look how many fortresses there are. This is just a numbers game at this
Although
point.
the Typhoons on the right side did a good job yet again. Okay, second round of fangs has spawned. None of it got EMP'd from the looks of it.
Yeah, and these are speedy fortresses because of the advanced power system, so they're going to close in on these melters really quickly. This is a lot of player damage, by the way.
And that just looks like it's going to be game. I mean, that's 7 fortresses. Okay, now 6 fortresses left alive, but those steel balls got spawned from the item, getting some value, and that will take out the
Wow.
final melter.
I was really worried for Sako there, but I can't believe he pulled that back.
Fang spawn fortress. It's pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, he committed to that pretty early.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's so powerful. So I guess for Agri, because you mentioned an interesting turn, right, where he went for the melters and didn't want to keep going for the sabers. I think that there is a world where he can try and out tempo, which is usually how I see this Fort Fang comp lose. Like
Yeah.
it just loses before it gets to this stage where you have like 10 fortresses with double tech. Um,
Yeah.
Maybe that was possible with the saber. Try and invest into them a little bit more, but it's a tough call to make because if you somehow don't close out the game, you are definitely in a worse spot than if you were to have the melters.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not even sure. It was also like a bit like additional deployment slot also drops, so like you could be making like 4 blue sabers per turn at some instances, and like they will absolutely destroy white fortresses if you have double shot on them. So maybe there's like good tower pressure as well.
Yep. Yeah, I mean the issue always is going to be how do you deal with the shielded fangs when they come out.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
the reason why it's so good is because it's just deploy efficient. Like it's
Yep.
one of the big things in this game is you have limited deployments, but then if you have a unit like Fortress that can spawn chaff as well, whilst being a tank and a DPS unit, it's going to be real tough for the opponent to deal with it because as you saw, he gets like triple Stormcaller, but then his turn is over. But he also needs melters and he needs other units to be able to fulfill all of his roles.
Hmm.
And yeah, just gets overwhelmed in the end.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes you wonder if like something as simple as lowering the splash of fortresses could go a long way. Because like part of the thing is you just spam fortresses and have like nothing else. So like them doing incidental chaff clear is kind of powerful, I think.
Yeah, it's very strong. I would imagine it does get changed down the line. Um, but yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I was a big fan that they lowered the splash on the saber teeth. Like I think not two shotting the balls at least as often or the sledges definitely feels nice. And like I think killing one less crawler here and there like actually snowballs quite a lot of positions, like especially early on.
Yeah, it is definitely a quality of life change because there's nothing that feels worse than having two of your steel balls get one shot by a
I
saber.
know. It's like it's pure RNG. Like it's not like they did anything skillful, you know what I mean? So definitely feels good. I'm glad they're looking out for those type of things. So guys, just to go over the format today, we will be doing our usual group stage format. We are at the semifinals today. We have just 4 players left. We've eliminated 12 players overall, and we're going to have 3 best of 1s to start things off, and then 2 best of 3s. So we've already concluded our first best-of-1. This is the second game between Arbiter and Flower Fairy. This is going to be a crazy matchup.
I mean, I'm all giddy. This is like
Peak
you
Mecha
can't get
Bell.
better matchups than this.
Absolutely.
Now, Arbiter in the show match with Sako last Wednesday did mention that Flower Fairy was the person that he was most afraid of. Maybe not afraid of, but kind of, wary, looking out for in
Yeah.
this semis.
Yeah, for sure. It makes you wonder if it's like their styles just like mesh in such a way where Flower Fairy has the edge. Sako said that he fears Arbiter and Flower Fairy. So, Arbiter apparently not fearing Sako as much.
I think that the thing is, Arbiter and Sako have played so many games that they kind of know what to expect from one another. And Sako has played a lot into Flower Fairy as well, which has created some great content, I think, over the past like 6 to 9 months, maybe. But
Yeah.
I haven't seen that many Arbiter v Flower Fairy matchups. And so that unknown um, aspect, I guess, of the battle might be what scares
Yeah,
Arbiter a bit, or
absolutely.
maybe puts on edge. I don't think he's like real scared, but he doesn't really know what to expect.
Yeah. I've heard Arbiter say he doesn't like tournaments a lot because of the nerves that you can get. So I'm hoping he's feeling a bit better about it because he's been performing really well this season. So
He has, yeah.
yeah, it's really exciting to see. Of course, he's been like just a top player since forever, but having tournament nerves can really hold you back from your full potential. Some people are just better tournament players, like Apuchi's definitely got nerves of steel.
Well, the rounds or the game two is going to start here. Looking at the packs, anything that catches your eye?
Let's see. Arbiter probably will not do Amplify or Elite, so I think he's looking at those 2 unit SPCs. Could be some good tempo. Flower Fairy is a standard player. Hard to say what he'll pick here, honestly. I can see the middle 2 maybe being what he wants. Even Quick Supply,
Oh,
actually.
the speed spiders look kind of good though, but I know he won't pick it. I think it'll probably be a quick supply.
He did aggro, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he aggroed on the round of 8, right? In his group.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, yeah. It was like a saber aggro, but then eventually he
Mhm.
like backed up all the way to the back line with Mustangs.
Yeah. Cool to see though in any case. So with quick supply, he's just gonna play things pretty chill here. Looks like a standard defense against the balls. Arbiter, of course, prolific aggro player. What are we gonna see here from Flower Fairy? Looks like he unlocked crawlers, so just keeping things standard here. We can see if he'll deploy an extra one. Does go for it.
This
So
starting
definitely
setup is
keeping it.
very reminiscent of our last game.
Yeah,
We had
that's true.
Steel Balls versus Sledge in that one as well. The setup looks very similar for Flower Fairy as it was for Sako. The only difference being Arbiter here doesn't start with Fangs. Instead, we'll be able to buy the crawlers.
Yeah, that's right. And we got a bit more resources here for Flower Fairy. We'll see if the crawlers do better. I mean, it's a pretty dang strong setup here from Flower Fairy. We do have some crawlers maybe going to the tower as well on the right side here, so we'll have to see how that plays into things.
Steel Balls for now, though, if we're looking at Arbiter's side, are looking to go for the tower as well.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll have to see if they get intercepted by the crawlers, but they are much closer than Fairy's crawlers, so that might yield an early debuff.
Yeah, definitely possible here. Probably not gonna get the balls connecting on the tower either. Everything getting funneled into the sledgehammers here. The
Ooh.
crawlers are showing up, stopping these ball connections.
Late crawler there from Arbiter, also intercepting Fairy's crawlers for a bit, so the tower debuff will be delayed.
Yeah, that's huge. But now we are on the tower. We're definitely gonna get it in time here.
Wow, and again, I mean, this is just such a good look for this marksman sledge opener.
Yeah, keep in mind though, quick supply, obviously cheating out an extra crawler out of thin air, very powerful.
And
See a
that's a good
couple
point.
spells. Good spells here. Both players want them. No Rhino Assault. They're favoring the Wasp. Makes sense. Anti-air is pretty hard to get your hands on this early. See some Fangs being placed. This is very standard. It's just good chaff, but it happens to also cover flanks in the Wasp summon.
Yeah, the spell is hard to deal with as well. A Fang pack behind the tower won't be able to beat it on its own. With the marksman for Fairy, he should be fine, but on our Arbiter's side, yeah, I mean, I don't know what you do. You can try and like put a missile, but you kind of have to guess exactly where the spell spawns. Otherwise, you won't kill all the wasps.
Yeah, for sure. So he could put it defensive with his Wasp instead of aggressive. I mean, that's usually what I do in a spot like this because the alternative is pretty difficult. But I think what Arbor's doing here is he's going for a two-thirds defense, and he lost the 33% because sometimes the Wasp will just chase the crawlers like forever.
Yeah,
So
they will. I mean, he could still cheat out another crawler, and that is a third thing that you can do. If he
yeah,
just
true.
matches the crawler positioning on the left, then he should just pull the wasps. But oh, okay, it's going to be a Fang on the front line, and that will be an early debuff for Fairy.
Yeah, definitely. That's going to be very painful. I mean, he's already down on tempo, so certainly going to feel this one, and it's such an early debuff too. And it'll help the Fangs clear the Wasp as well.
And it's a surprising gamble from Arbiter. So he did buy two crawler packs, but he opted to put the one on the shallow flank instead of putting it on the bottom right to defend against this potential spell.
Yeah, exactly. Not as bad as a disaster as I thought, though, but certainly would have been better to not lose the tower.
Yeah, marksman here, level 3 from Arbiter Specialist will be busy clearing up the wasps. So, I mean, this is still going to be quite a decent amount of damage coming through. I would say about 600.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Round
Two
3. Do
levels
we
on
get free
sledges.
units? We do.
Phoenix is pretty early here. Mustang's also pretty early. It's a good time to get their experience going. I don't think either players want the melters here.
Mustang pickup for Fairy. I've seen him play quite a lot of Mustangs as of late. We saw it in the game where he played aggressively last weekend. And on ladder, I've seen him play a bunch of Mustang Melter as well.
Yep. Minor thing to point out here is that the Mustangs do help defend you against the Wasp drop later. This is more relevant for Arbiter because Flower Fairy's defensive. He's already got the Fangs. But of course, the Mustangs will be placed really high up, so not utilizing that just yet.
And we're getting a bit of a classic out of Arbiter. I mean, when was the last time that you saw Steel Ball Mustang
Yeah,
as the main comp?
yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll see if he leans into it or not. You'll know the moment he either techs the balls or the Mustangs. And of course, the balls are the most likely thing to be leaving the army. They're very sellable, could replace them with fortresses. I think for now, these blue sledges are going to be pretty tough to handle.
Yeah, they're big and they're good against the Mustangs as well. We get a deep flank from Arbiter with some crawlers too, but nice timing on the arc light there for Flower Fairy.
Yeah, that's just going to gobble some Mustang experience as well. Very happy for Flower Fairy there. We'll have to see if
Let's
he can get
see.
some tower pressure because he does have the mobile beacon here, but there's so many fangs in front of the tower.
Yeah, he keeps getting close, but the steel ball's just not quite to get far enough to be able to grab that debuff.
Yeah, we got a bit of Mustangs on the tower here, but it's fortified, so that's
Oh,
perfect.
okay. Couple crawlers running in, but Fairy, okay, not quite able to defend the tower. We will get a debuff, but there's not that many units left alive for Arbiter, so I'm not sure if he can really do much with these 9
Yeah,
seconds.
Might not be enough, but definitely big that he got it just to mitigate some HP loss, get some experience on some of his units here. He can level up his arc lights and click range and maybe feel pretty good about it.
A little bit of chip damage taken again, though, and these first rounds have put Arbiter below 3k.
Here come the drops. We got heavy armor, subsidized marksman, efficient light on round 4. That is a classic. Difference of tastes there. We got heavy armor for Arbiter. It doesn't even have a level 2 ball, so kind of feels bad, but we might see the Fortress come out. That would be a really good target for that. And Arbiter has been using Fortresses in most of his MAG1 games this season.
Yeah, I think it's his most played unit for sure, and it's the comp he's had the most success with. Pairs well with the Mustang. Again, also a bit of a classic transition. When the steel balls don't work, you'll often see the aggro player pivot to the Fortress. So I think that's going to be a good call.
Yeah, definitely. The balls either have to work really well or they're fired. Like that's just this the world of the ball. I mean, that's even without oil, but yeah, you just put a few sledges in front of them and like they're pretty garbage. But
Yeah,
still, we haven't spent
oil
our money yet.
could be painful. Fairy doesn't go for it, but that is a scary mention.
Yeah, I mean, Arbiter hasn't switched sides at all, right? He's just been putting everything on the left side, so definitely vulnerable to it. But if you just guess right, oh, here it comes. What text do we have? The classic text, Fang Fortress, Barrier. So that'll be really helpful. He's putting it right in the corner there. I don't really understand the heavy armor being put on the steel ball, though. Maybe he just wants medium chaff to be healthy right now instead of putting the eggs in one basket.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably just a one round thing. I would imagine those steel balls get sold next turn.
Yeah, I agree, but do you think it was like a misplay? Like, just didn't think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's probably kind of valuable because he's trying to attack the left side and it's all like small chip damage. So maybe the steel balls are a better target for it. It's
Yeah.
hard to say though.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like for now, the Fortress is kind of sitting pretty in the back line anyway. This beacon, I imagine, was trying to play around potential oil, but
I
looks a
have to
little bit
agree.
silly now that it doesn't come out.
Yeah, I think it was not a good beacon. Like it was good if oil came out, but in every other case it's just going to be bad.
Oh, let's see. How much can this Fortress do in the end? Oh, the
Probably
beacon
not
is.
much.
Uh-oh.
Oh, got
Okay,
an
well, it
arc
gets rid
light.
of a couple more units, but yeah, this chip damage is starting to really rack up for Flower Fairy.
That was the efficient light manufacturing turn from Flower Fairy as well. So his economics is doing great here.
Oh, yeah, that's a good mention. I didn't even notice. Yeah, that's an expensive card too on round 4.
Yeah. Replicate picked
We
up
get
here for Flower
Replicate
Fairy. Tempo is
off of the
on. I mean,
Underground.
yeah, he sees blood. I mean, 2k HP on round 5. You can finish Arbiter off in just a few rounds here.
Yeah, and Arbiter is going for an aggressive Underground threat as well, but hasn't clicked any text on the crawlers just yet. Mostly busy trying to purchase enough fortresses.
Yep.
Well, Impact Drill would suffice. He still has the money available for it, but
Yeah, it'd be
if
so
he
clutch
hasn't,
if he did that.
yeah, I feel like if you click it though, it's like one of the things you do first in the round. So yeah,
Mm.
I don't think it's coming out. Uh-oh.
Speed is clicked though, temporary speed, and we are now attacking the other tower. So there is a world where we get the tower earlier than Flower Fairy. We'll have to see.
Yeah, the underground positioning should pull most of those Mustangs, so you do raise a good point. And the left side will at least stall for a bit, even though there will be like an army of crawlers coming in for Flower Fairy.
Even a missile here that will catch the crawlers that will be running forward here.
Okay, it looks like a really good play.
Yeah, really well thought out. We'll get the tower first, I believe, unless the fortress gets stuck, which is possible, but should just be one shot, boom, get the tower. Yep, huge there.
Okay, nice
That's
play.
huge. Might still lose the round
Doesn't
though. I mean, like, so much stuff
Yeah,
left.
it doesn't impact this like sea of crawlers that was spawned in the back of Arbiter's board, and that will yield the tower now.
Yeah. Thank God he at least got the tower though. Can you imagine he didn't? Like he would have taken like almost all of his HP left.
Yeah, this should at least save him. And the saving grace is Flower Fairy is playing a board of small units. So even when losing around here, he doesn't take, a million damage.
Yeah, and he also bought Replicate, which is like not gonna have good long-term value unless Arbiter does some misplays.
Okay, reinforcements. Hmm. I mean, Farseer is worth the most.
Yeah. The biggest diversification is the Wraith, and maybe that's the reason that both players are going for it.
I mean, both players do have access to, I guess Flower Fairy mostly has access to 3-leveled marksman.
Yeah. By the way, we saw this exact move from I believe it was Flower Fairy in the round of 8.
Yep.
He likes picking these like diversification units that like are way different than what your board currently is and just leveraging it. I remember one player took field maintenance and the other player didn't. I can't remember the exact details, but it's really interesting to see this once again.
Oh, and it was looking like a headbutt of the two Wraith, but this time it seems like Flower Fairy has changed his mind and will be going for that leveled tower instead.
Yeah, really powerful move here. And Melter's coming out. We'll see if that will have any good connections here. I think Sentry missiles are going to make a lot of sense here for either player, just to because tempo is everything right now.
Yeah, the Melters look real good here. It's a good unit into Fortress to begin with, but it also does protect you against the potential Wraith.
Yeah, that's true. Wow, we're actually teching the Wraith. Not really a cheese play, actually, just his long-term chaff clear. I mean, he never did range the arc lights, so
Yeah, the Mustangs are unranged as well, so I can understand the need to get some more chaff clear. Well, let's see. We'll need a quick connection here for Arbiter onto that Melter if he wants to have a chance. The right tower is leveled, so it'll buy him a little bit of time. But looks
not
like
too
the
long
Melter
though.
has locked on. Oh, okay. Oh, well, he got rid of the Melter, if anything, so this Wraith will be able to tank a bit, even if it doesn't have armor or maintenance.
Yeah, but so much left on the left side. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the left has completely collapsed, and I think some of those replicate crawlers even managed to get value, perhaps replicating off of that fortress even.
Yeah. Well, we need to kill some stuff here
1400
because
hit
there's
points.
yeah. I think that'll be it.
It will.
Oof.
Rough game here for Arbiter. Never really seemed to get a foothold into the game.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of a rough one, honestly. Quick supply tempo just looking really good, even while taking efficient light manufacturing. I guess Marksman Specialist just didn't really pull its weight here.
Yeah, I think the starting matchup was just rough to begin with. Typically, Sledge Marksman is favored into Steel Ball. Um, and it just cost Arbiter like so many rounds, right? We had the Wasp drop on turn 2 as well, and it just kept chipping away like 5, 6, 700 damage every round. And then
Yeah,
it just meant that he didn't have enough time left to be able to get like into Fortress Mustang.
he never ranged the Mustangs, by the way.
Yeah, I mean
Kind of
that's
weird.
yeah, I think it's just like money problems, right? Like he needs enough fortresses on the board, but he also needs range on the Mustang. But then Mustang on its own is also not a good enough chaff to deal with the crawler, so he kind of needs range on the arcs. It's yeah, tough position to be in.
For sure. Yeah, maybe spreading out his resources a little bit too much here. That's the type of thing that'll cost you tempo in a game like this as well.
And I wonder, we have seen players like Sako and Fairy prioritize some of the sledge openers.
Yep.
Maybe you just don't try and pick like a steel ball opener against them. It is a bit of a weird line, I guess, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think
does he?
sledges have had a resurgence in power.
Yeah, because we've seen now 2 games where the same pack, almost the same pack, was picked, and it wasn't the steel balls twice in a row. It's a bit of a small sample size, of course, but the sledge packs did end up winning.
Yeah, for sure. And that one was just dominating. I mean, 4,000 HP, barely didn't lose any basically. So yeah, I mean, Sledge is just a rock solid defensive unit. Flower Fairy loves the defensive playstyle. I'm sure he was happy to see balls. But now we have our two winners going to face up against each other. This is the exciting match we've all been waiting for because this is the finals from the MAG1 Season 1. Back at it now for the round of 4.
Yeah, and one of these players will be going through to the finals,
Yep,
and the other
guaranteeing
one
one of
will still have
themselves.
to win a best of three. So winning here is just amazing. You just get to watch the others struggle. You get to take some notes. You see more games out of your potential opponent.
Yeah, 100%. Very curious to see what happens here. Sako plays aggro and standard, so we could see. I mean, I guess Flower Fairy also plays both, but like realistically, guys, like Flower Fairy plays standard like 99% of the time. Sako prefers aggro, but like when in high stakes games, like he's just gonna pick the highest win rate SBC basically. And so if those units are Stormcallers, like he'll just pick that and play standard. So it's really gonna come down to the packs to see what these players go for.
I would expect Sako to go for aggro here into Flower Fairy. I think he currently doesn't like playing standard matchups that much. So,
Yeah.
because we saw him play one game into Arbiter and he didn't really seem happy having to play that mirror matchup. It was like, it was kind of heading towards Vulcan Marksman, but then Sako build out and it ended up costing him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like maybe he doesn't like when it's like a mirrored standard, but he might be fine if it's like Arclight Worm versus Marksman Vulcan. It's hard to say, but yeah, definitely a playstyle thing that can bite you if you're just unwilling to go into those mirrors.
And he knows how Flower Fairy plays as well. Flower Fairy is a very, very greedy player. Like, he will take all of the econ cards when they show up. So, sometimes that can benefit an aggro player.
Yeah, for sure. Here are the packs here. Flower Fairy might be looking for a nice Stormcaller pack or a strong, yeah, picks the Stormcaller. Sako, he's got options, but he doesn't like Marksman, so maybe he just won't pick those two.
These look like packs Sako won't be happy with. I'm going to be completely honest. Although the
He has
speed
Assault
spec looks
Marksman.
fine.
Yeah. Will he use that with the Assault Marksman?
Honestly, the elite spec is playable as well, but
Oh
I mean
my
that's
god. He's doing it. This is pretty exciting. And actually, it's a good matchup because speed versus Stormcallers, you dodge the missiles, and he has Fangs, so you approach the Fangs quicker.
it's one of the better matchups for Tarantula. And honestly, Tarantula has been making a bit of a comeback. Very playable unit. It just happens to have like a couple of rough matchups, especially into Saber. But yeah, this should be fine, I think, going into like round two, three, four.
Yeah, definitely. I remember you had a similar pack. I mean, you had speed for sure against Misim in the first Mag 1 League. You had spiders, and you made it look really good. So I think there's potential here for sure.
It's a very snowbally unit, and it's one of the best chaff clear units in the game still. It just needs a
Yep.
little bit of love, a couple of techs, but I think Sako here won't be too unhappy about the matchup that he's been given.
Marksman's really just going to be there to be sniping the arc lights. Not super strong. We'll have to see where he places them because that'll indicate assault mode or not. Right now, based on these positions, would you say it's leaning towards assault or no?
No, I
I,
don't think we'll see Assault Marksman come out.
maybe too risky in a high stakes game, but he has it on the bar, so like he values it existing. So like that's the interesting thing.
Yeah, it's probably just like one of those techs that's there because he had to fill out a tech slot, and then maybe sometimes you'll get like the quad marksman drops, and then you can
Yeah,
click it just to be a little bit annoying.
yeah, some tempo. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think if he clicks it here, like he has too many like big targets basically for the Stormcallers to hit.
Yeah, maybe. I'm still holding out hope, but yeah, we'll see.
A man can hope.
Yeah, pretty much. Well,
Well,
speed's going to
looks
be
like a
really
solid
good
push.
here. I think especially with these units wasting their time on the right, speed is like extra good here.
Yeah, being able to close that distance is going to be extremely valuable because it's often what loses you round one into storms. Like you do get the tower, but then you have to run into the other Stormcaller pack and you just get blasted from a mile away.
Yep. We even have some crawlers left, which is much bigger than it looks, of course, because they can distract those storm callers.
Wow, and is he going to keep both of his spiders alive? He is.
Very surprising. No levels to speak of, but that's all right. Big tempo swing there.
Keep in mind, Flower Fairy is a very low hit point start here, already down to sub 3.5k.
Yep. Got early unit reinforcements, 2 air options, and 2 tanky boys.
Well, Phoenix looks good for Fairy. It's like the one thing that he was missing, anti-air and solid DPS.
Yeah, Sako has the marksman, so he doesn't have to take one of these anti-air options. I don't think a sledge really makes sense for him though, so I
Could
guess
pick the
all the other
Saber.
ones.
Saber Tarantula is
Yeah.
a bit of a like classic combination. Used to be like very good on aggro a couple months ago.
Yeah, I agree. I think he might take Phoenix just because like it's a comfort pick and it's just like better in aggro in general. Yeah, he's going for it. It's kind of weird with marksman, but I think sometimes you just have to ignore that aspect of it.
Yeah, you just have to be able to like block out the feels bad moment of. But I already had marksman.
Yeah, they do overlap the jobs, but that's okay. Sometimes you just need more sniper units in your comp. Looks like he's
Yeah, and he
attacking the other
can.
side here.
Yeah, he can kind of just ignore it, right? He has one side that has the marksman, and then he can play on the other side with phoenixes.
Yeah, it's a good way to use it. You have all these extra snipers, so you just move to a different quadrant. I thought it was nice to have those units be AFK though, but yeah.
Love this pull, by the way, from Sako. Shallow flank crawler will distract most of those storm callers.
Yeah, that's huge for the tarantula. Just keeping it healthy. Now it's going to connect on the stormcaller. It's going to punch through the right side. Maybe that'll give him enough
Oh,
tempo to win the left. Oh, maybe not.
well, he does get the debuff, but luckily for Flower Fairy, he managed to kill the tarantulas that would have been able to clear all the fangs.
Oh, we killed one phoenix. Marksman was a hero. Oh, a small win
Sako
here
will
for
still come
Sako.
out ahead.
Oh, that tarantula.
1 HP. No levels yet on those spiders.
Snap picks on the shield airdrop. Really good on aggro and kind of decent on defense as well.
Yeah, the
Will
DPS for Sako is not the highest in terms of shield break, so I could see that shield stalling for quite some time.
For sure. What a cool position here by Sako, by the way. Just like going into a spot where you normally can't put bubbles. And, it has high chance here to live because he's placed it pretty far from the Stormcaller.
Yeah, trying to avoid the two like shield break units in the form of those phoenixes and the stormcallers.
Yeah, really cool. Flower Fairy just bolstering his weak side here, like by quite a lot. I feel like it's a pretty good opportunity for Sako to now start just going back on the strong side.
Well, let's see. There's still quite a bit of chaff missing, I would say, for Sako. I say that he picks up one more crawler, but
Yeah, true.
definitely one of the things that's still somewhat missing from the board. And well, Flower Fairy hasn't tried to flank him yet, but the towers are completely undefended for now.
Yeah, really good points, honestly. Kind of risky at this point. Ooh, an early
Ooh.
HE. On the shield turn, by the way. Kind of sketchy, but
Yeah. I mean, I guess you're not expecting your tarantulas to kill the shield anyway.
yeah.
But even with the phoenixes, yeah, like this is a 50k hit point shield. Like that's gonna take a while. That's basically a level 1 fortress.
Yeah, for sure. It's like almost 20 Phoenix shots. Takes a long time, but we got tower pressure here, so I mean, so far
Oh.
it's looking good. This tempo from the HE is huge.
Yeah, that's a really good turn because it means that the phoenixes don't die immediately and they can shoot at the shield for just a little bit longer.
Yep. Got the marksman still, so even if our Phoenix dies, we can shoot up. Tarantulas maybe living again? Oh my god.
Oh.
One of them leveled. Phoenix not quite leveling. Couple marksmen. All of them.
And there we have the greediness from Flower Fairy picking up efficient tech research.
Yeah, no techs yet round 4. Like, it's definitely a fine take. Like, it's probably better than skipping, or at least close to it. Whereas we go for Nano with Sako, he likes the tempo. There might be some really good long-term value with it, so respectable pickup there.
Ferry does get access to his Farseer this turn, and we can see it on the left deep flank, although some crawlers have been added there now, so
Yeah, you don't see that every day, a Farseer flank.
it can be really annoying to deal with because the Farseer is like okay into most stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if it lives or not. It's speed SBC, so there's our fast crawlers, big DPS. Probably it
Yeah,
kills
no, I
the
think the
Farseer.
crawlers will have it.
Yeah, kind of feels bad. It's like the other game where like your SBC does nothing the first round you get it, but
Well, left tower has been leveled, so even though the Tarantula is locked on, that's going to take a little bit of time. Right side, though, that tower is not leveled, and the pusher this time around without the shield is much faster for Sako. Gets both towers.
yeah, huge.
Another really
Big
good round.
rounds. Man, that Farseer just didn't pay off at all. Can you imagine it was actually helping out in the main fight?
I mean, I think it would have been. I mean, it definitely would have been better, but I don't think it would have prevented the debuffs from happening.
Hmm. Redeployment. Kind of surprised Fairy didn't take it, but maybe he's happy where everything is. Just maybe sells the Farseer. Sako takes it. This is really strong for Sako because he can just give up on the right side if he wants.
Okay, we get Melters as a response from Fairy. Now, this is typically a winning matchup for the Spider player because of the eventual Spider Mines.
Yeah, I suppose so. Like maybe not in all cases, like depends on levels, multi-melt, that type of thing. But yeah, certainly an option for Sako to go wide with that.
Well, we get more aggression onto the flank. A Crawler and a Tarantula have been added onto the deep flank on the right side for Sako. Farseer has indeed been sold, and the Melters already have range, so pretty big turn.
Yeah, that'll help kill the shield as well. We have a loan and temp range from Flower Fairy. We actually have a loan from Sako as well. Pretty interesting that both players decide to snap the loans now, round 5. Maybe a bit early for most games.
Yeah, it is, but I mean, I think Flower Fairy realizes that he's in a bit of trouble. He could have died on this turn, and I think
Yeah,
grabbing
definitely.
that range is going to be useful.
Yep.
Right Melter, though, under fire, looks like it will go down. Those leveled Phoenixes, very valuable, and the right tower should go down shortly. Left side looking strong for Fairy.
Yeah, definitely looks strong over there. Melter's making a big difference, popping that bubble as well. But we got Tarantulas to clean up these fangs. We'll have to see if that's enough. I guess maybe the Melter just kills the Phoenixes too quickly.
Yeah, that looks like a solid defense, and the spiders didn't have range yet, so they kind of just ran into the Melter beams. I think range is somewhat of a
Yeah,
priority for Sako.
yeah, definitely agree there. We
Ooh,
have a couple
orbital
red
jav.
spells. Sako's saying no pretty quickly too.
Wow. Bit
He has a lot of
surprised because
HP.
yeah, but it's such a good spell, no? Like you can hit,
It's
I
so
think,
good.
2 arcs plus the Melter on the right side since it didn't level.
Yeah, that looks juicy. I actually agree with you. I think that spell looks like really premium here. Maybe he's afraid of like losing some 50/50s though, or like you sell stuff or mobile beacon or whatever it happens to be. Sako has redeploy, so he's even got better chances of dodging stuff. But Flower Fairy still goes for it. And look, there's the redeploy. Oh my god, that's huge. He'll still get the Phoenix and the crawlers, so like it's still a good javelin. But can you imagine?
Yeah, it's a nice read from Sako. It is like the most obvious position, but that'll at least save his important Tarantula. And I was expecting range, but it seems like Sako is just trying to go for full speed and going for spider mines first.
The mind pressure is quite nice against this level 2 tower, and it's also really good at just like killing melters. He's actually lacking single target, like, and the blue phoenix is actually dying this round. So it's actually kind of a good round to get mines, kind of solving some of his problems while also distracting the melters, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I like imagine though if he had Jav, because now he's gonna have
Yeah,
maybe if he wins, he probably wins the left side, but then he'll have to run into the Melter on the right side. And I
yeah, the
guess
melter
we'll
could
we'll
do
see what
work
happens.
for sure. We'll have to see. It might come down to just being able to kill the melters at all or connecting on the tower here. Looks like the right side for Flower Fairy is looking really solid. Doesn't have to worry about that. The shield is taking care of everything. But Sako is collapsing on the left tower. That Melter's under fire.
And look at those crawlers speeding in, +6 move speed from the specialist and the tower buff. But yeah, this is not looking good at all. And those melters on the middle and the right side are just completely safe.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, we got the orbital javelin. Sako
Ooh,
did tempt speed. Yeah,
the
definitely
shield
painful
survives
here.
as well.
I wonder if Sako pivots here, like for example, War Factory, or well, we get reinforcements. There is balls
Okay.
that they look kind of good, maybe.
Yeah, balls here, not too bad. He's definitely in need of some DPS. Usually you'd want to have more Phoenixes by this point, but
Here we go. The oil's coming here though. Could be a problem. Of course, chaff clear plus melters is a classic. Oh, the energy
ooh.
diffraction on the melters. That is going to be so good against the steel balls here.
Yeah, it's good against the mines as well. I like this preemptively from Flower Fairy because he knows that Sako doesn't have the DPS from the Marksman and the Phoenixes. And the only thing he could have picked this round is either Steel Ball or Phantom, and both of those would get countered by the Diffract.
Exactly. So do you think like the really, really genius play then was for Sako to know that Flower Fairy would do this and then you go like your own melter or, War Factory or something like that?
Yeah, I mean that would be a play. Um,
Loose
I
formation?
guess like he's a bit down on tempo, so he wants to give this a shot, but that would have been a big read to make. And I think there was nothing that could be sold easily, right?
Yeah, for sure. But loose formation here looks pretty good. I mean, there's of course there's going to be fire on the ground, so maybe the left side is a bit of a disaster, but otherwise I think that was a great button to click.
Well, let's see how these steel balls will do. For now, the spider mines and the crawlers are running in front. I think we will get a lock on there. We do. So right side should fall shortly. Left side, though, looking very bad there for Sako with the use of the oil.
Yeah, no doubt. Probably not going to win the round here, but if we can at least soften the blow.
Okay, one more melter goes down. But man, this diffract is putting in the work. I'm not even sure
Yeah.
if this last melter will go down. Oh, it will. The spider mine's there chipping in.
Yeah, not the worst here for Sako. Honestly, like that was the oil. And now he's got the loose formation problem for Fairy to handle. Now the balls though are not looking good. He can sell one of them, redeploy one of them. Oh, more spells
Oh,
here.
another Jav. Both of them go lightning storm. A little bit surprising.
I respect it, I think. I think I
Man, I
might have
don't.
picked lightning.
Lightning is good if you manage to break the shield. It's great chaff clear, if anything. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jab
I
is
feel
great,
like
yeah.
again, like jabbing the melter here just
No,
seems
I
real good.
agree. I think both plays are pretty strong. So what is Sako gonna do here?
Well, he went range on the tarantulas as well, so we've got triple tech now.
Is he just gonna rely upon the tarantulas and nothing else?
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, he only has 400 resources left. He sold one steel ball, I think, and then he
Look at this
moved the other
beacon.
one to the left. Oh
Yeah.
no, he's kind of running into the into the storm there.
Yeah, the Phoenix may die. Anti-air is
I
a real
think.
thing too.
Yeah, the one issue again though here for Sako is even if he wins the left, the right side is completely uncontested. Like those two melters are not being attacked by anything meaningful. Um, so like after the spells are done, I'm not sure how he's going to run into the right side and kill the remaining units.
Yeah, it's a good point. We have napalm on the Badgers as well, so that's part of the answer for these crawlers here, the loose crawlers. I'm not sure if it'll be enough though. There could be a crawler problem, but then again, the lightning storm may kill a ton of crawlers here.
Yeah, Phoenix is now running into the storm as well, sadly.
So
Couple of
painful.
melters will go down, but yeah, the right side is just chilling there for Flower Fairy. Maybe we'll get a Tower debuff, or not even.
Just getting
That's a
crushed.
disaster. Yep, Flower Fairy here will take the game and proceed to the MAG1 Season 2 finals.
Wow, huge moment there for Flower Fairy and all of 201. getting out first in this monstrous group. It was a close game, but some really nice moves here from Flower Fairy. The energy diffraction timing was great. Really good, solid defense everywhere. I think Sako had nice moves, but the Tarantula commit just like wasn't enough damage against the Giants.
Yeah, I think like for the past 3 rounds or so, Sako was just missing DPS, and yeah, the Meltas just were sitting there like, okay, I'll just sit here and tank forever. It's tough though to know like what you would go, because usually you'd want more Phoenixes by this point, but yeah, you need like Tarantulas with a couple of techs, and then honestly, I think like your play for going for Melter immediately could have been something, but it's a hard call to make. Like you have to kind of predict what your opponent will do, and then yeah, he had a bunch of units that were kind of just doing nothing, right? Like the marksmen were chipping in, but not doing amazing. The Phoenixes were untech'd.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Sako is
and
sometimes too allergic to the sell button because he thinks it's a loss of tempo, but I think those three marksmen were really not doing too much.
yeah, I think it's fine to keep them because they're not worth that much. But that is like the downside sometimes of like the marksman, which is something that a lot of high MMR players talk about. But in these type of scenarios, when you're aggro, there's just not really much you can do with it.
For
So they're
sure,
just kind
yeah.
of sitting on your board as empty deployments.
Yep. So now we have Agrypnocoma and Arbiter fighting for their life here. I believe these guys have fought each other before. I want to say Agrypnocoma had the better of him.
Yep, yep. It was one of the matchups in the 2 weeks ago in Group D, I think.
Yeah. So it'll be exciting to see if Arbiter can come back this time. Arbiter's been looking pretty good. I mean, he nearly won the show match against Sako. That was a really close series. And we did not allow Fortress Fang summon tech in this show match just for, for some variety. And I thought Arbiter was maybe relying upon that a little bit since he took a break from the game and was quickly relearning it. And a quick way to come back if you've taken a break is to learn the OP meta thing. But no, Arbiter's looking solid. So I think anything's possible here.
Yeah, and in this semifinals, the Fort Fang is available, and we already saw that being put to good use
Yeah,
um,
it's one and it failed
by
though.
Sako. Yeah, one of them failed. I mean, he didn't get to the Fang spawn point.
Yeah. Thank God there's one weakness to that build. It's really tough on tempo, like, especially if it's not handed to you by Bear like, if you have to actually pay 200 and unlock it and, like, you're already losing, like, it's super rough.
Yeah, there are definitely some boards where you can't easily set up, and sometimes you have to give up. Well, you have to give up a tech slot for Fang spawn, where I think in certain scenarios you'd be happier having something like Overload on the bar. Like in the Mustang Fort board that Arbiter tried to play in his first game, I think you'd usually prefer having Overload.
Yeah, I agree. I miss launcher overload all the time, like, if I had a 5th bar for the fortress, I would probably have that tech on.
Yeah, it's always so rough because you're like, but if mass-produced Fortress shows up, then you're just like, aha, I have Fang Spawn on the bar. Like, this game is free. But then sometimes you'll like be defending against, I don't know, Typhoons or whatever, and then Overload would be so nice.
100%. I'm usually just a meta slave when it comes to Fortress. Like, usually what people find and finds being the best is like usually way better than the other combination of techs. Like usually the other people are like just being hipsters and like trying out stuff. So
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
no, no, definitely. Props to them, but like man, I don't know. I can't click the other buttons very often. Like Elite Marksman on Fortress like just feels so niche to me. Or Double Shot, like I don't know.
I think Flower Fairy runs double shot.
Yeah, definitely.
Although we
I've
won't see it anymore because he's through.
Yeah, true.
All right. Well, the packs are here.
Yeah, it's an easy elite specialist if he knew what he was doing, but he doesn't, so it's
Yeah, I
fine.
was looking to say like, oh, it's to buy 2 arc lights on the leads, perfect. But no, it's going to be actually we're running back the speed spiders here for Arbiter, trying to follow in Sako's footsteps and maybe redeem the spider game.
Yeah, really exciting. I love to see it. Maybe he's not happy to be running into the steel balls, but actually the steel balls are pretty far back. It looks like a Hagro.
Yeah, a little bit of aggro here from Agrypnocoma.
Kind of surprising. I mean, it's like some units are more Hagro-y than me to others. Like Storms feel a little bit like the classic Hagro. I have seen
This is
Sarah
too
use
much
it though.
aggro, man.
I'm just confusing the heck out of viewers, and it stands for
Yeah.
half aggro, guys. Half aggro.
Oh my
but
days.
but yeah, I don't know. It looks like he is moving his units up a little bit now. It feels a little bit more like I'd call it aggro at this point, maybe.
Yeah, it's this is usually going to be favored for the spider player if it's a headbutt because of how good spider is at clearing. But in this type of scenario, it's actually like the best outcome for the steel ball player. Being able to avoid the spiders and having that extra tower pressure because of the speed on their units will often like favor the steel ball player for like the first couple rounds.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny how that works out. It's all just about the tower timings for the most part. Balls are like the best abusers of the tower debuff, so
Well, let's see how this goes. Tower should fall first for Agri, but the tower from
oof.
Arbiter is not too far down.
Yeah, not far behind here, and we got tons of crawlers left. I don't think the Arclight can even kill them all in time. Possibly just enough here for Arbiter.
Yeah, the crawlers are creating some real problems, and even though the Arclights, I think, have been doing a decent job, it looks like after all, the spiders might take it here in round one.
Yeah, it's really close though. There's gonna be like one ball left against one Tarantula, so Tarantula should have it.
Yeah, good
Okay.
tower timing for Arbiter. I think if that was like a couple seconds later, then Agri would have had a better round. But yeah, spiders take it.
Yep, decent amount of experience going around, of course, but no levels to speak of yet. We have some unit modifications, a spell in the Wasp Swarm, and heavy armor here. Arbiter loves improved Overlord. I think it's like way too early to pick it though. But if that shows up later, he might pick
I feel like it's a bit of a hate love relationship. Like he likes it,
it.
but then sometimes he also is like, oh, but intercept is so good into it and it's unplayable. So
Yep,
we'll have
yep,
to see if, well, if it even shows up again and in what mood Arbiter is today.
for sure. He used it to great success though. Like it helped him get out of the group.
That is true. Well, for now, it's
But
just going to be the wasps being mirrored on the back line, and we've got some fangs coming out from Agri, being used defensively by the looks of it.
yeah, so hard to say no to these like premium spells on round two. Like when your tower is like the least defended in all parts of the game. Heavy armor though was like a pretty juicy option, but nobody has levels, so just take the spell. Playing it pretty safe for now.
Ooh, and Agri switching things up. Having bought the fangs, he's confident that he'll be able to stall the wasps from Arbiter, and instead goes for wasps in the back line there to try and grab a debuff.
Yeah, very interesting.
Wow,
Looks like it
some of
will
these
go
fangs are just absolute traitors, by the way, for Agri. Just keep running forward.
tower. Yeah, I know they abandoned their post, man. That's why I got to put the fangs a little bit further back.
Well, that will cost him the debuff, but he should be able to get two towers of his own.
Yeah, that should be not looking very good here for Arbiter. Like it was looking good for a second there, but he's not going to be able to finish off most of the remaining troops here.
And either way, no more anti-air left, so the wasps will be able to finish things
Oh,
off, if anything.
Tarantula level. That's big.
Ooh.
That's going to tempt him into the Tarantula line. I mean, maybe that's not a good thing. Maybe Arbiter should stick to his guns, go for the Fortress line.
I mean, Spider is definitely playable here. Oh,
Oh,
well,
oh.
never mind. I didn't say anything.
I think both players are picking it. What do you think?
I feel like it's almost an insta pick on this turn if it shows up.
Yeah, it's so good. Like it scales really well. Oh my
Whoa,
god.
okay.
A blind, by the way. You just have to like put this thing and hope that it's good.
I mean, Spider Melter definitely is a playable comp, and Spider can be really good at clearing fangs, so you might be able to kind of out tempo a potential fortress coming out from Agri, but he's taking his time.
For sure. I think long term,
Oh,
tarantulas even
wow.
what the heck? I wonder why they're doing this. Like, what's the rationale?
That is insane. I don't know the last time I've seen round 3 Fortress in high MMR, and neither player picked it up.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have to write that down for an interview question if we get them later, because that's a really interesting thing.
Well, Agri with the cheaper Chaff Clear able to already get ranged arc lights on this turn as well.
Yeah, it should be pretty helpful here. Now that you have melters, you pretty much just want, premium chaff clear. Tarantulas do have an edge over arc lights eventually once you take their techs, but does cost a lot of tempo to set that up.
Also love this mid pull on the flank from Arbiter, making sure that
Yeah.
those steel balls don't get to the tower very fast will prevent an early debuff and will allow him to play on the left side of the board.
Yeah, super great move because the ball is the only thing capable of killing the tower in a timely fashion. Looks like it's still just a solid defense here though for Agrypnocoma.
They managed to get an early lock onto that unranged Tarantula, the blue one, and that is simply going to mean that there's still some fangs left, and the melter will go down for Arbiter.
Yeah, decent damage being done.
That's a lot of damage for round 3. Barrier instantly picked up. Lovely item for Giants.
Yeah, definitely can't go wrong there. Arbiter may be considering the improved firepower, though he doesn't really have a premium unit for it.
It can be good on Tarantulas, but I feel like maybe you don't need it if you already have Melter as your DPS.
Yeah, looks like both players playing pretty standard there, just taking the really effective and economic barrier there. It's sort of like printing you 100 value per turn, so some serious value there.
Get a beacon coming out from Agri, making sure that he doesn't get pulled. A second time by those crawlers on the flank adds an arc light over there as well.
Yeah, good response, I think. Like, there's a lot of value in getting this tower, and you can't let those crawlers get so much value. Like, another option is you just missile it over and over, but mobile beacon long term could be really helpful.
And we get Phoenixes now for Arbiter. What do you think of this?
I don't know. Like, I think charge shot is more than enough DPS to eventually handle the melters, but like you do open yourself up to Fortress AA lines, and like you already have melters, so there has to be a reason why he prefers that, and I'm just not really sure.
Yeah, that's what I find a little bit surprising as well. And then we have, well, the spiders, honestly, I think they've got HE now, but I feel like they need range more than anything just to be able to stay away from those melters for a little bit longer.
Yeah, as long as there's no early lock-ons, I think it's okay, but there is early lock-ons on the right there. That is painful.
Yeah,
But
80 range is not that much, but whoa, the crawlers are now running in. That's looking real good.
yeah, much better. This is looking much better for Arbiter. Looks like he's gonna win the right side, even if the debuff happens. I think he's fine here, or maybe not.
Does get a melter lock on as well, so that'll keep ramping up during the debuff, and even might be able to just kill the melter. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, well, with the tarantula left, it should be all right for him. Not a big win, but certainly things moving in the right direction for him.
Steel balls will at least be able to kill the melter there, so I think Agri will be happy with that. But Arbiter stops the bleeding and manages to pick up a round.
Yeah, so what's next? Like, are we buying more phoenixes? Are we teching them? We got unit reinforcements. Arbiter loves his scorpions here. Sometimes stormcallers can be good in these melter battles. Rhino's probably not part of the equation here. I guess
Scorpion
Vulcans is
pickup.
possible, right? For the defensive player. Not really
Yeah,
sure defense is like even a concept at this point. It's kind of just like a long range battle where one person is like slightly more forward.
I could have
But
even
it's
seen like Stormcallers, to be honest, but
no 100%. Yeah, I think they're fine.
although into speed spec, maybe it's a bit scary. Goes for the Rhino instead.
Huh. I don't really understand that. I guess like he's just reading that there's not another melter coming down.
Which is a fair read to make, considering you saw the Phoenixes come out. This is
Yeah.
hard to deal with. Oh, wow, okay.
I guess he's just trying to distract a certain number of tarantulas. Maybe just one is he's happy with just this one blue one. But it does make sense. Like if the tarantulas don't do their job, then the melters don't do their job, and then the whole thing just falls apart.
It's a risky play though.
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
feel like this is only gonna get you one turn,
Yeah, I
if
guess then you
anything.
sell it. Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Well, let's see how the Scorpions do because those were picked up and they are able to one-shot the steel balls here.
Yeah, should be pretty powerful as long as they don't get killed. Kind of looking sketchy
Oh, they do
though.
get locked on though. And it looks like the steel balls will actually win out. There's no more chaff gear left, so might not be able to get to tower. Meanwhile, left side, those melters from Agri have been ranged, and so they will win out on that war.
Yeah, looks like something's going wrong for Arbiter here. Maybe it'll
And
be
the
easier once
Rhino,
he handles the Rhino.
yeah, the Rhino did lock up that blue spider, like you said. And that's a big turn. 1,000 hit points remaining. That could be over in one round. Especially with the spell like Ion Blast showing up. Oh boy.
Yeah, this line looks great for Agrypnocoma, just blanketing all of these medium-sized units.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of levels available on the melters for Agri, and I believe level 2 melter can't die to the Ion. Um, so this looks a little bit sketchy for Arbiter. Let's see what he decides to do. We get the Wasp Swarms back off cooldown as well. Both players guessing the correct side, or well, I guess Arbiter guessing the correct side.
Yeah,
And
Spider
Spider
Mines
Mine's
once
coming
again.
out.
We are trying
This
it
is the
again.
exact same thing from Sako that we're seeing now in the game from Arbiter.
Yep. I mean, the mobile beacon is definitely going to get used. Question is, where is he going to guess?
I
Dodging would
mean,
be huge.
I think you have to expect like the line of spiders and scorpions to get hit, right?
I feel like Arbiter needs single target insanely badly here. Like either get melters and range them or like do something with the scorpions. Like you can't just end the turn with okay, there it is. We got range in the melter, that's something.
Yeah, it's a bit of
Temp
a similar
range as
problem.
well. Would love to see
Temp
temp
range.
range. Okay, okay.
Well,
All
there
right,
you
all
go.
right. Mobile's guessed on the melter, not his medium-sized units. So this ion's gonna be insane.
I like the beacon, trying to make sure that this rhino will be dealt with.
Yeah, definitely. The balls though, are they gonna get in again?
Yeah, the scorpions are in a bit of an awkward position. I would have expected one of them to be on the outside, but both of them are on the inside, and so the balls here are just kind of running around them.
Oh, the mines though. Okay, okay. Delayed at
Decent
least.
ion beam still from Arbiter as well. Managed to damage both of these melters a significant amount. And the melter here will get the lock on.
Yeah, it's looking
Also,
okay.
Tara debuff. This is going to end up being a really close round. It's just going to be Melter and Phoenix versus a bunch of units. So I guess the Fang Pack will make the difference. And so Agri will pick up another round. But Arbiter is still in it. And I think that's a good thing considering he had to deal with uh, the Ion Beam there. It can be very scary having to face that when you can potentially die.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a Vulcan's Descent, and I believe both players have oil available from their tower. So basically, Incendiary is like one of the cards here.
Yeah, I think an oil play could make some sense. Looks like Agrypnocoma does go for it, but Arbiter valuing the cheaper spell with the Rhino Assault.
Yeah, interesting. He's gonna Goomba stomp an Arclight. Kind of a cool play. Like it's very cheap for what it does. So I do like that. More of like an economic, low risk play. Agrypnocoma though, really investing. I mean, currently, like it probably gets the tower. So I'd like to see something for Arbiter there. Now it's possible like something turns and helps out, but no guarantee.
I mean, he'll get a good amount of value out of that anyway, Agrypnocoma, right? Like, he'll kill a couple of
True.
chaff packs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just killing chaff, like especially late in the game like this is huge, especially with melters on the battlefield here. I'd like to see the
Okay.
balls handled better this time.
Gets a Melter on that side, but Melter's not necessarily known to deal well with steel balls. I like this beacon from Arbiter though. Kind of pulling back the Melter and the Phoenixes. That means they should lock on to that Vulcan.
Oh, that's true, yeah. And Loose Crawler, once again, what an interesting repeat of events here. Very similar to the Sako game.
Yeah, and again we get triple tech Tarantulas finally with the range being picked up as well.
Mustangs are going to be so happy to be purchased here now that the Loose Crawlers are out. And the Mines. Like, everything's just really fortunate here.
If Phoenixes do turn to deal with the Vulcan, but as expected, the Vulcan will at least kill a couple of chaff packs. Melter on the right side, trying to deal with the steel balls. Looks like that will be possible, so no early Tara debuff going to come through for Agri. But meanwhile, the middle melters are doing fantastic, just shooting at spiders and unranged scorpions. It's really about the sides here for Arbiter. Will he be able to grab a debuff? Not quite.
So close, yeah. The Tarantula was splashing it, but then whatever it was splashing died, so no tower
Oh,
debuff, but still getting the round.
looks like Arbiter will be fine. Yes.
The game continues.
He managed to grab a missile interceptor there as well, so minus 100
Yeah,
on the
this game
resources.
this game 1 has been pretty sweaty so far.
Yeah, Arbiter is holding on for dear life. Sledgehammer's here looking good. Yeah, I like that pickup. Fantastic against the
Yeah,
melters.
Typhoon and Wraith are just cells, so definitely not it. The Phantom Rays are, like, playable, but I feel like the sledges are just better, so yep.
Yeah, it's like the Phantom is kind of like the air sledge, but it's
Yeah,
less units per pack, so Sledgehammer is just better against Melter in general.
yeah, exactly.
I guess like some late, even like flank sledges here look really good for Arbiter.
Yeah, that's a
Like
good
deep
good
flank
point.
sledges, that would be so annoying to deal with.
Yeah, I'd be very curious to see that line.
Well, for now, both players picked up the sledges. Just more chaff, I think, being picked up.
Yeah, I'm just
And
so
we get a
curious what
melter in the
these
center.
armor, okay. Trying to think, like, I know that stops the Mustangs, but is he really clicking it for the Mustangs, or do you think he values just, like, the HP a little bit as well, or
I think it's a
maybe
bit of both.
yeah, interesting. We have
I
EMP
mean, if you can
Barrage.
lock up the Mustangs, then loose formation becomes more useful as well, right?
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Now let's see. I'm a bit scared here on the right side for Arbiter because there's no real chaff, and the steel balls are running in right at the melter.
Yeah, true, but EMP Barrage, oh, it doesn't really slow them, and there's no missile there. Yeah, that could be a problem.
Oh,
Oh,
looks like he'll maybe be fine. Melter for now locked onto the steel balls. Will only now turn his attention to the crawlers. And looks like the spider will have it. How are things looking in the mid?
yeah, it's looking okay for Arbiter, I would say. Probably going to be connecting on the Melter soon. Possible tower pressure on the left as well.
Sledge is creating some real problems here. You can see how many Mustangs are locked onto like just the one surviving sledge, and left side Melter has fallen for Agri. On the right side, though, things are looking better for him, and he did click the EMP, which is a big difference. Oh no, wait. Arbiter has it as well. Just seems like he's been hitting better.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, look at that.
There's
Another barrage. Just kind of missing for Arbiter.
yeah, for sure. Mustangs are looking really good, but once the tarantulas connect, they look bad. So I think it's really just about getting your tarantulas through here, not getting EMP'd.
Oh, the melting point gets EMP'd again for Arbiter, even though those
Oh
spider
god.
mines did spawn and gets hit again.
So brutal.
Oh, that
Oh
is
my
such a
gosh.
close round. But 354 is not going to be enough to keep Arbiter in, and so the first game here will be going to Agrypnocoma.
Wow. That was anybody's game for sure. I mean, it was just like a mirror, basically. They had the same melter techs, both took the sledges. There was like a Mustang difference there versus Tarantula, but like, yeah, it could favor the Tarantulas long term.
Yeah. I think the crucial rounds here were in the mid game, where at some point Arbiter and Agri both had the melters, but Arbiter decided to pick up Phoenixes. Now, I know that he did win that round,
Yeah.
but it just feels like after that he had a bit of a inefficient board. Like he had two untech Phoenixes, he had two untech Scorpions at some point as well, And
Yep.
Agri was really just building more towards like Arclight, Melter, Mustang. And that efficiency, I think, is what made him eventually win. I mean, he won a lot of rounds at the start, so he could kind of afford to lose a couple of rounds in the early late game.
Yeah, I strongly agree. I had the same thoughts. Like the Phoenixes, I mean, we discussed it right as it happened, but like in hindsight, I also agree with our analysis that like it didn't make sense. Like I was hoping that he would just stay on the one melter and just like go into Phoenixes because otherwise that line doesn't really make a lot of sense, I think.
It's a tough thing to say because there's also clicking range on the tarantulas over the spider mines, but I don't know how much of a difference it makes. It's hard to say. Keeping the tarantulas out of range of the melter for a bit longer could be valuable, but then at the same time, the mines were doing a decent job, but it did delay the range by quite a bit, right? Because it's expensive as a third tech.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's sad to see the Tarantulas once again not being able to beat the Melters, but that looked a lot closer, I think.
Yeah, and that was a game, by the way, where Fortress was offered on round three, and neither player picked it up.
Yeah, that was a little shocking. Like Melter is a strong unit, so like I do understand it. Like good against the Fortress and just like, it's a giant. Giants are OP. But yeah, I don't know, a little surprising. Like it's a Fortress meta. It's the flavor of I don't know, the month, the patch. Like it's so good. Everybody knows it's good and like these are players that have used it too. Like Agrypnocoma used Fortress in the MAG1. Arbiter used it like extensively, so very interesting.
Well, Arbiter's not out of it yet, though. This is a best of three, unlike the first three games that we saw, and he'll get another chance at well, victory and having a chance to promote to the MAG1 finals against Flower Fairy.
Yeah, the win is a big deal. Like, first of all, your pay goes from $100 to $300. And second of all, if he gets through like this best of three against Agrypnocoma, then we guarantee a 501 in the finals because Sako is waiting to play who the winner of the series. So a huge incentive to win here. He's going to be feeling the pressure, but yeah, he can definitely do it. He's a super strong player.
I'm gonna be interested to see what type of comp will come out. Maybe this time, if the Fortress shows up, we'll see more Fortress gameplay. I've also seen Arbiter play a whole bunch of Fire Badger comps, Fire Badger Raiden, that kind of thing. So
Hmm.
that could be a line as well if we see those units come up early.
Yeah, it's funny how some players are like so good with these rare units, but then they can't even like leverage their their specialty in them. You know what I mean? It's like Typhoon comps are like insanely good and you can be really skilled at them. They have big skill expression, but like you can't guarantee it.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with mercenary units.
Yeah,
But
it's
we have
interesting for
seen
sure.
more of them being added into the pool, so it could be interesting to see whether or not um, eventually more or even all of them will be making it to the main pool of units.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be cool to see like new ones get made, cycling them in and out.
Well, the
Well,
packs
there's
are
Fire
available
Badger.
here. There
He
is
can get
Fire
the Fire
Badger, yeah.
Badger. Oh
I
my
don't know
god,
if.
speed again.
Oh, okay. We've been getting. Is that three speed games in a row? I think it is, right?
It is.
I'm not sure if Arbiter will
It's
be willing to run back to Spiders, but he is. It's a different pack, though. Fortified spec instead of the Fire Badgers.
yeah, super interesting pack decisions today from the player. It's really fun to see something a little bit outside the box here. Looks like a center aggro. I mean, you can call it a center defense if you want, but I tend to call this center aggro.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Pretty interesting choice, I'd say, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, this is kind of the downside of, I guess, Spider into Ball. Like, it is favored for Spider, but it's only favored if you're in front of your opponent. Um, and yeah, I guess being in the center will at least guarantee that you're kind of fighting it
Yeah, I
um,
guess he's like
head
negating
on.
speed SBC, like
Oh,
by being in the
okay. Willing to
center.
make a gamble.
Yeah, changing his mind. And looks like a Grip Nakoma is thinking about the Hagro once again.
And this time did change the side up. So where he was on the right side last game with steel balls as well, he's going to be on the left side. And I guess we'll be able to see how this performs in a headbutt with this classic tarantula versus steel ball matchup.
And Arbiter is fortified spec here, so possibly a little bit sad to be against steel balls where the HP doesn't matter, but
Oh.
he'll find other ways to abuse it, I'm sure. Like crawlers with HP can be really effective.
Yeah, it goes for crawlers here on round one. Now, that's an interesting line. You've basically got two options as the spider player. The only DPS that's available is marksman on round one, but marksman, as we've seen, can sometimes struggle in the mid and late game. And so ideally, you'd prefer phoenixes, and I think that's what Arbiter is playing for now. It does mean that the round will look something like this, with the steel balls absolutely crushing because there's not enough DPS to deal with them.
For sure. I think if he knew Agrypnocoma's position, he would have put the crawlers higher, and that would have looked a lot better, but of course he had no idea what was going to happen here. Now this round we have a lot of early game cards that are powerful. Basically everything except for the interference is like pretty premium early, so very interesting to see what people go for. Mostly it's been the spells though from these players.
I mean, yeah, all of the blue cards are pickable. Like, pick your poison, right? Do you want a Rhino Assault that will likely lead to a debuff? Do you want intensive for like the long term value? Do you want heavy armor on your steel balls?
Yeah, it's nice to see such competitive picks. Players are really taking their time here. We actually get to commentate on the decisions, you know?
Well, looks like Agrypnocoma will go for the Rhino Assault.
Yeah,
And I
definitely
think
can't go
for
wrong.
Arbiter, heavy armor doesn't look that good into steel balls because, I mean, if they lock on, they will kill the units anyway. So
Yeah,
it's
agreed.
probably between intensive and rhino. Intensive on round two can be a little bit hard to use though, especially if you want to get your hands on something like a phoenix. And so yeah, it will be the rhino assault for arbiter too. Both of them using it aggressively, and it'll be a race to the tower to see who will get the debuff first.
Yeah, really interesting to see. Ooh, the missile's going to be helpful there. By the way, I'm really surprised the prediction is so much in favor of Agrypnocoma. Like, come on, guy. It's Forgotten Arbiter. He is like the massive legend of this game.
Well, should I put all of my tickets on the line as an unbiased caster?
All in, baby.
All in? All in.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, I've got 138,000 insight.
Oh,
Um,
dang. Okay.
so this one's on you if I lose.
Okay. No pressure. Well, that missile's going to make the difference here. Chop, chop. Really strong tempo here.
Well, the missile did a great job, and so it is going to be Agri getting the debuff first, and that feels really bad if you're Arbiter. Like, you lose the round in this fashion, although actually you don't lose it because you have Phoenixes, but
Yeah. Otherwise, though,
I mean, it
it's a
kind of
lot of crawlers,
nullifies the
though.
spell, right? Like, Arbiter didn't really get anything out of the spell. He would have won the round regardless, and the debuff didn't really do anything for him.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think if he knew how this was gonna go, he would have preferred skipping. Like, some people can argue, like, yeah, but the Rhino spell comes back. But like, I don't know, $100, like multiple turns in a row, is really, really strong.
Well, I actually think this is going to be a tie.
Let's
Too many
see, 5 seconds
crawlers.
left. Yep,
Yep.
that's right. All right, ball level. Unit
And we got
reinforcements are
three units.
here.
There's some strong options in here. Level 2 Farseer for Arbiter and Quad Marksman for Agri.
Yeah, very
And
interesting.
Quad Marksman is such a wild card, by the way. 4 deployments?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's such a strong wide option, and Agrypnocoma runs double shot, so he's able to leverage it pretty strong just for like DPS throughput if he wants.
I mean, that's honestly been my favorite tech on Marksman now for the past month or so. It's just so nice and cheap, and it gets you like guaranteed DPS boost as opposed to something like Elite, which needs levels.
Yeah, 100%. And it's multiplicative, which is nice too. Like even if you have a bunch of damage multipliers, like percentages, it'll just multiply that by almost 2.
Well,
I
let's
like the
see how this
crawler.
goes.
I think
From
Arbiter does need some more chaff here. So I like to see it. The first year is probably going to do really well.
Yeah, this Farseer is looking menacing. It is kind of staring down like all of the cheap level 1 units, and that is what this unit loves to fight in these early rounds.
Yeah, it just bullies everything. And it's like tucked away nice and safe.
I would like a mid pull here for Arbiter on the left flank. Like those crawlers from
Oh,
Agri are
yeah.
extremely greedy and very pullable. Same thing with like the crawlers and the steel balls.
Maybe even just deep flank instead of mid, because he's got those, like, far back crawlers.
Yeah, that's possible too. Well, let's see how this goes. The DPS is still going to be kind of on the low side here for Arbiter, with only the one Phoenix pack. And so, yeah, the mid is collapsing as those leveled steel balls are going to take down the spiders. The marksman taking one down on the right side as well. And now we just have the one trying to work very hard to get rid of those chaff units. Let's see how much this Farseer can do.
Yeah, just clear the chaff because this Farseer can take down a lot of units with him.
Oh,
Oh, the
support unit, by
debuff.
the way.
Yeah. Will he survive through the debuff here? I guess he
I
will.
think
He'll
it's
take
going
down the
to
marksman.
win.
Oh.
Oh, okay, never mind. The debuff is kind of hard. Oh, no, never mind. It
Oh
does
my
win.
gosh.
That's
Support unit,
insane.
by the way.
Casual 44k damage.
If this
Yeah,
unit
it's
wasn't missile based, it could actually carry. Like, you could actually carry Farseers, low
true.
key.
Yeah, you could. I mean, it's also just the unit drop there because well, level 2 Farseer on
Yeah, yeah,
round 3 is insane. Like you get a level 1 on round 4 if you have the specialist. Um
100%.
so it's kind of far ahead of the rest of the board.
Yep. HE is a sweet power spike here. Like, Chaff is just going to be completely gone. He's got Phoenixes to back up his Tarantulas, so probably won't get stuck on anything. Nothing really big to get stuck on anyways. Just like a blue Arclight would be pretty annoying.
Yeah,
A
this is the
Phoenix
game I
Flank.
like it most. It's been clicked first in all of the games with Spider so far, but this situation I like it the most because we actually have somewhat of a headbutt going on, and I think there's just more valuable lock-ons to have here for the Spiders right
Yeah,
when the round starts.
yeah, that's true. Ooh, that mobile
Couple of
beacon looks
flanks.
great.
Yeah, there's a Phoenix flank up top as well from Arbiter, though, utilizing that open space that we talked about.
I find it to be a really weird play. I don't know. Wouldn't you go to the other flank?
You mean with the Phoenixes?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess here at least the Phoenixes will kind of be part of the fight, right? Like,
yeah.
if they grab a debuff, oh, okay, but Mustangs have been picked up. I mean, either way, Steel Balls would have made it to Tower if only there wasn't a missile there, which there is.
What an excellent missile. Will it live? It will
Steel Balls
live.
can tank, yeah. Agri has the
Mm,
first Tower buff, so that's 5.2k hit points.
yeah, huge difference there. Will the tarantula? No, it's not going to turn in time. It has HE, so like it actually would have killed all the balls, but
And instead gets stuck on
unfortunate.
an arc light. Man, could you have imagined a deep like Arclight or Tarantula flank though here for Arbiter instead of the Phoenixes?
I'm telling you, yeah, I didn't like the Phoenix at all.
Oh, Steel Ball's there, now going to be level 3. That's starting to get a bit scary because so far these Phoenixes have not been able to level. Or well, one of them has, but they just don't quite have the DPS to be able to deal with level 3 Steel Balls.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like a haste module or subsidized Mustang to me.
Subsidized Mustang coming out for Arbiter, now that's surprising to me.
It is a little surprising, yeah. I mean, what's your read on why he wants that?
I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, for
I
me, it's
think I would
like,
have just picked up the haste.
yeah, for me, it's just like good chaff, I guess. Like you're picking it just for like incidental chaff clear and chaff.
Yeah,
No
but like that's the
special
thing about
reason.
Spider. Like the reason why Spider is good in the late game is because it's like it's a do-it-all Shafter unit. It doesn't have the same problems that Mustang have against crawlers or that Arclights have against loose formation and shielded fang. It's able to deal with all of it. So
Yep.
you usually don't need a backup of Mustang unless like there's a real threat of like Wasp or something.
Yeah, it's literally just like anti-air plus chaff is like the main reason that you're buying it
Yeah.
here. Like it will incidentally clear chaff, of course, but like yeah, as you said, tarantulas just do it much better. So yeah, pretty
Yeah.
interesting pickup, but they both did it. Is that correct? No, just Arbiter did the subsidized aspect
Yeah,
of
because
it.
Agri already unlocked the Mustangs last turn. Instead, he picks up the haste mod on those far back Mustangs, so they'll be able to join the fight a bit quicker. We do get a deep flank from Agri as well, which will distract those Mustangs and Phoenixes that have been added from Arbiter. And yeah, there is range already on those Mustangs, so I don't hate the play completely from Arbiter, but it does delay additional text on Tarantula, which could have been so useful.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's an interesting choice. It may pay off. This Sentry, once again,
Oh,
beautiful. This
not
time,
bad.
finishing it off.
Yeah, really good hit. Steel balls in the middle. They did pick up the level, so they are causing some trouble, but the left side is looking real good, and that Farseer is still DPSing quietly in the background.
Yeah, this time I think Arbiter's got it. That's what he needed. He's got the tempo on the board, and you really want to win the rounds where Mustangs are on the board. That valuable experience.
And that's a really good turn, all things considered. And Mustang might just be a more versatile option as we go into the late game.
Well, here we go. We got some interesting cards here. I think they're all pretty pickable except for the advanced defense tactics.
I would normally almost insta-pick Jav just because it's so cheap. Definitely for Agri, I think there's some good targets to hit. Can hit like a
Yeah,
Tarantula, Phoenix, could even use it in the center and try to hit the Mustang on top of things. It's a bit more tricky to use for Arbiter though. Very spaced out small units from Agri, so could see just a skip or even like an advanced shield device. I think that card is a bit underrated sometimes,
oh yeah.
where once you get to late game, it just becomes almost mandatory to have those shields, and getting 40% additional value on them is not bad at all for 50
I
resources.
I think it's incredible. Like 16,000 HP benefit per shield you make is like completely bonkers.
Oh, Agri deciding to skip.
Not even
Very
shield
greedy.
device. Oh my
And
gosh, both
Arbiter too.
players.
Wow.
I
All
think
right
bubbles
then.
look great. Like bubbles are great everywhere except for where the balls are basically. But, you know, they need the money. They're trying to make something happen here.
Both Rhinos back off cooldown being used in the backline here for both Agri and Arbiter. So that'll be a bit of a stalemate. Although Uh, Agri does have the tower bonuses and the help of the Mustangs, so his Rhino should survive.
I love the steel ball redeploy, by the way. Just, going for a locally great location for it. Going to take down this blue tarantula. That's going to create a lot of problems.
And oh boy, we've got a bit of a fortress setup here from Agri as well.
That's
And
right.
maybe Arbiter wanted to get into Mustang Fort too, but Agri has beaten him to the punch for now.
Yeah, so maybe like a melter or a war factory position for Arbiter. And he's a player who's not afraid to use war
Oh,
factories.
now wait a second. Clicking on these fortresses, Agri has decided to take off Barrier and run Double Shot, which I think is normally a fine play if you're only a defensive player. But when you're playing Mustang Fortress, I feel like Barrier is like one of the most valuable techs you can have.
Yeah, really interesting there. And certainly something you can exploit. Like you can just mirror and eventually have the better late game, but not sure the tempo will be there. He may feel pressure to like instantly War Factory or what have you. Big Sabretooth, by the way, also a Fortress killer, but maybe not the most normal pick here.
Yeah, it's good for like a turn or so. The problem is all of the other sabers you're going to buy are not going to be level 6. So you're going to have
Yeah,
like one side that's very good at dealing with fortresses and the rest is kind of like okay-ish.
yeah, I agree. Worth pointing out that there's redeploy as well. So like the Saber can move
True.
around and sort of like dodge melters, like that type of thing.
I like the tempo play here. It's going to be hard to deal with. Agri, though, goes for the Vulcan into Cell, which allows him to get more fortresses and a first tech in the form of range. And Arbiter here, realizing that maybe he's a bit behind in terms of a potential mirror, goes for a Melter pickup.
Yeah, I feel like he left a good War Factory hole above the left tower. I'm not 100% sure that's enough space though, but it might be.
Oh, between the Crawlers and the Mustangs?
Yeah,
I
just
think
right
it's
above that
too
left tower.
small. I think it's... Oh, no, actually. No,
I
it
think
should
it's
be 7.
perfect.
No, it is
Yeah.
perfect, yeah.
So I feel like that was a good option, but yeah, I mean the melter can certainly work out. Although, oh, that's painful. The balls are probably just gonna
Oh.
crush it.
Yeah, the Saber finds himself onto the other side now. Luckily, there are some crawlers in front, so maybe he can be fine. More flank units coming out for Agri, though. Doubles down on more crawlers to stall these Mustangs. We'll have to see how this plays out.
Yeah, really interesting. These sentry missiles are gonna be a big deal as well. Tarantulas are locked on. If these
Oh,
tarantulas die, that's a big problem.
that's really bad. I think Agri might have like missiled some of the chaff here, but those fortresses got instant lock-ons, and that's most of the chaff they're gone. Now, luckily, Arbiter does have Mustangs available, although some of them are now crowd surfing in the middle. Those crawlers passing through, not minding their allied units.
This is way closer than I thought, actually. The Saber's still alive and
Yeah,
healthy, too.
I mean, it's a chunky boy. It's got 117,000 hit points.
Oh, but we're on round 7 and no fortified tower.
Oh, those Mustangs. Eye on the prize. Just making a beeline for the other tower as well. So, yeah, the two debuffs will be a bit too much. The poor Saber just slowed down and unable to make contact with those fortresses. And that'll send Arbiter down to close to 1k hit points.
Yeah, and Arbiter surely wins that with tower forts. So, a
Now, I'd say
little bit
so.
painful.
Oh, Nano.
Yeah, really juicy options here. EMP,
Wow.
perhaps
EMP?
a strong one? I don't know. I don't mind it.
It's a good spell, but I don't think you'll get double value out of it this late. But Nano and Port both look good as well for Agri.
Well, there's a melter for Arbiter, so I'm not sure about that. Maybe it's
That
good on
is
like the
true.
Saber,
Yeah.
like you redeploy it.
Yeah, I think
Well,
Saber with item here is good. Okay, picks up the portable.
yeah, I like that. I hope he puts it like just facing like the blue fort or something with redeploy, of course. And for the love of God, like fortify your tower or like defend it properly. Got oil here. Is there a fire being purchased? I don't think so. It's just slowing things down, but we'll have to
I
see.
mean, there is a Vulcan of, or has been, is
Oh,
available for Agri, but I doubt he'll purchase it. It's a bit expensive.
yeah. It's a good thing to keep in mind, though, but no, it doesn't do it. And we do see the double shot, by the way.
Yeah, that's a bit of a treat. You don't see that too often, but this fortress hits like a truck. It hits for almost 28,000 now per hit. That melter will not be long for this world. At least the blue one hits for
Yeah.
28k.
So Agrypnocoma did more sentry missiles last round. It looks like Arbiter now deciding to go for some of his own. That's going to be a big help. Even with Tarantulas, it's still worth it to sentry sometimes.
Oh, the EMP though.
Oof.
Yeah, I think
Pretty
Arbiter there might have
painful.
just like not seen the spell and looked at the two items that were offered. But that's going to pay out dividends for
Still
Agri.
no
Right
tower
side completely
fortification.
collapsed.
Oh, so sad. Yeah, just a big collapse here with the fortresses. The towers are so exposed.
Well, looks like the fortresses will come out ahead, and
Another win for the fortress.
it is a pretty good unit.
Double shot looking pretty good there. I don't think he needed it, but certainly was powerful.
Yeah, so another, I mean, again, like I was a little bit confused, I guess, about the Mustangs. I don't know if Arbiter just didn't trust the spiders, but we went from going like into a spider board into like some type of Mustang board, where usually the spiders could be enough of their own.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. It was subsidized Mustang and there was like another card. I forget what it was, but yeah, it was haste module, I think. And
Yeah,
Arbiter maybe got baited by the subsidized Mustang there. I don't know. I
it's a
also like the
tough
War
call though.
Factory idea. He had the
Also, I
perfect
just
pull
lost
for it.
138,000 insight thanks to you.
Oh no. I'm
Back to
sorry.
one, and we
Uh
lost a 501
yeah, I
player.
think the
Oh
sadder
no,
part is Arbiter is unfortunately out of the tournament. I thought he had it in him. I mean, he's been looking great. It's definitely sad to see him go. He's such a strong player. But
agreed.
Agrypnocoma looking so good this season. He's
Yeah,
making a
it's a
name for himself.
very solid looking player there. We'll be going up against Sako, who has been performing himself, but that's going to be an exciting matchup for the final spot in the finals, where Flower Fairy is already waiting.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm going to have a very quick break there, so I'll leave things to you, to all of the
No worries.
viewers. Feel free to do the same as we will be queuing up the next game. Grab a snack, grab a drink, kick your feet up, because we've got one more best of three.
Yeah, super exciting here. Sako needs to get into the finals and we'll have a repeat, guys. A repeat would be absolutely insane because in season 1 it was Sako against Flower Fairy. Flower Fairy definitely wants his revenge considering it was a 3-0 in the last finals. But I mean, this season Flower Fairy's just been crushing Sako earlier in the respective groups during the round of 16. And yeah, once again, we will have to see. We might need a different play style from Sako here. I mean, Flower Fairy on defense has been looking rock solid. That is what he's basically known for. I mean, we used to think of him as a long range player. He self reported that he is stronger in long range than defense, but as far as the MAG1 goes, I mean, defense has been his strength. So I think he's changed his motto at this point. The Sako needs to make the tower go boom. That's the secret, guys. Or maybe hackers, you know? It's crazy, like, some days, like, you'll see hackers in multiple games, and then, like, you'll have a week like today where it's just fortresses, like, I can't tell if it's just variants of, like, what the packs show, what the, reinforcements show, or if it's, like, more of, like, a flavor of the week type thing, but I don't know. I think hackers are looking really good in the meta. Yeah, this is just a highlight, guys. We're gonna get into our final best of 3 of the day. Every best of 3, of course, your life is on the line here, so Sako and Agrypnocoma will be fighting it out for the finalist spot. This is the semifinals. We have just the 4 players left. Flower Fairy has already made it through, so we're just figuring out who our last player going into the finals will be. And the finals will be taking place next Saturday. So, of course, give us a follow on Twitch, subscribe to us on YouTube, catch everything we've got going. We'll be having another season after this, and we'll be going strong. So, we really appreciate your support. And yeah, we're excited to get into this next best of 3.
Yeah, so who do you have? I mean, I don't think I need to ask that question, but
Well, I mean, Agrypnocoma has been looking really good. Like, I respect his play a lot. He's just honestly, he's made a name for himself. But it's Sako, man. Like, he looks good today as well. Like, of course, Flower Fairy kind of manhandled him, but you know, there's nobody more consistent than Sako aside from Flower Fairy, I'd say. So,
yeah, agreed. I mean, we mentioned it before, but it is at the end of the day the current MAG1 champion, and I am sure that he's going to have something to say about him not making it straight into the finals. Maybe a little bit of steam starting to boil up inside of him, and we'll have to see if that will deliver on the battlefield. Here are the packs. And look, I'm gonna meme yet again, but oh man, look at the elite spec pack. It is absolutely banging. I would
it's
pick
just
that.
beautiful. I'm
It is.
insta pick, man.
You got
You
double blue
actually
marksman. The DPS is through the roof.
Yeah, possible line for sure. Agryptocoma has kind of good options, like the supply. I would say you might like the giant. For me, it's supply for sure. Just snap pick. Low HP though, 3600.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a little bit dodgy for me. We get the sledge packs out of Sako. I think that's more of an expected line. And we get sledges for Agrypnocoma as well as he picks up the Farseer spec.
yeah, I'd say defensive setup for Agryptocoma certainly possible here. Sako, I mean, he could as well. Like, I'm not sure how Sako wants to pace this best of 3. Like, he may be interested in slowing things down in the first game, trying to get like a read on how he can perform in more greedy matchups before deciding like, okay, I got to tempo this guy out.
Yeah, I was going to say this is a great pack for Sako to play like Vulcan Phoenix, but looking at the other side, Agrypnocoma has like the best possible techs on his marksman to deal with that type of a board. He has EMP against like Quantum, double shot against shields. I think going aggro here is a good move from Sako.
Yeah, I certainly don't mind it. It's Sako's probably the best aggro player. And yeah, just getting crawlers, filling things out. Pretty standard stuff here.
Just
Aerial
two more
specialist,
crawlers.
though. I don't know what
Yeah.
air comp Sako likes. Do you know what air comp? Like, I know Phoenix is, of course, but
Yeah, it'll probably be Phoenix's coming out. I would be a bit surprised to see Wraith, although Wraith has been making a bit of more of a comeback, but it's often paired with something like steel balls and not with sledges.
I would say Raiden is possible to see. There's already
Ooh, I
existing
like that.
sledges.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to see. It might come down to unit reinforcements and stuff, but for now we're just gonna take the early game round by round. Both players are fairly adaptive here. And of course the Farseer waiting for Agrypnocoma is a huge power spike.
Sledges kind of struggling to chaff clear for both sides,
Yeah, so
but
much
there is
crawler
more chaff
DPS.
clear available. Yeah. Well, the Fangs are chipping in, so for now it looks good for Sako. Might be able to even grab a debuff as the Fangs start working away at the tower.
Not every day you see Fangs take down the tower, but this time they did it.
Well, their time to shine, and I think that will make the difference as they're now starting to distract those marksmen. That's a good first round for Sako.
Not too bad. Definitely you want those early wins against Farseer specialists because the 300 supply SBCs are like crazy efficient. Okay, we get to see the cards because Sako's actually taking his time. Quick teleport's always playable on aggro. Elite Tarantula people really don't pick super often. Elite Mustang is actually a viable and good card, but usually you want to see that like round 3, round 4. So quick teleport it is, and a Wasp.
Okay. Does run the jump drive and, well, making good use of his aerial spec here, not having to pay the 50 unlock cost.
Yeah, absolutely. Lets him afford another 200 cost unit if he wants it, but I'm not sure he would. So yeah, just a tower
Wow.
fortification, more chaff.
Look at that missile from Agri, though. Very heads up play.
Yeah, fascinating, honestly.
And even defending that crawler in the deep left flank because he added an arc light there.
I guess it was like sort of a 50-50. Like if the Wasp was just on the other side, would have gotten through, or at least killed the Arclight and stuff.
Yeah, I guess it is a pretty common play, especially for aerial spec aggro to do this type of thing. So, I mean, great reads from Agri, and you
Yeah,
have to imagine that that will turn the table on round two.
yeah, 100% agree. Really, really awesome tempo move there. Like he did pay 50, it's gone forever. But Sako, he had to take quick teleports. Like it's kind of tit for tat, and like this tempo is huge. Like we saw a game earlier where early blue sledges just kind of carried the mid game. So once again, another thing Sako has to worry about.
Yep. And that was both of the deployments from Sako on that given turn. So they're kind of dead deployments now since they're instantly
Yeah,
dealt with.
that's true.
Well, what do you think of these reinforcements?
Well, the biggest thing there is the saber. It's certainly not a bad option. I think the rhinos are not super appealing here.
Wow, we get Typhoon out of Agri. Wants to have something to deal with those wasps in the long term.
Yeah, not sure if I really like that. The saber I do like. I mean, you can't really go wrong, right? Just take the biggest drop you can. Like if equipments drop, you're going to be super happy because of course levels plus equipments is always a good time.
It's one of those units that you can probably just run for a couple turns, and then eventually you can sell it for a bigger unit. Perhaps a Fortress, perhaps a Raiden.
Yeah, it's a good like money, like it's good liquidity, right? You can just sell it, get a huge amount of money, put it into other better plans. Oh, another sledge. Oh, for the deep flank. That makes sense. Pretty nice move there. Like pretty much just peels off lots of units and will actually kill that arc light.
And we do get the jump drive commit here for Sako, so investing 100 into his Wasp to be able to retrieve them. They will be protecting the left tower. The right one is leveled, so those Typhoons are kind of sitting in the open now.
Yeah, not super great here. Wasp might do really well here. We'll have to see. It is like the fastest unit aside from the crawler, so they're going to be in frontier, tanking the marksman, applying their DPS, possible tower pressure here, winning the flank.
I love this play. That flank putting so much pressure onto Agri's left side of the board. And meanwhile, the Saber is just vibing, having a great time, now getting to shoot at those
Yep.
Typhoons.
Yeah, huge. big experience killing it too, and the fact that it lives too is also a lot of experience denied.
Great turn. And now Agri
Oh,
will have to do something about those saber, about that one saber.
yeah, probably selling the Typhoon, but like, yeah, he has a missile already there, so I think it does make sense to sell the Typhoon.
He gets a Farseer as well, yeah. So he should be fine against the wasps, which is why I think the Typhoon was a bit surprising. But I guess it's still a really good resource value on that drop.
Yeah, agreed. Could be a good unlock too, depending on how things play out, like against Ariel, but yeah, we'll see. The Farseer I expect to be kept for maybe the entire game. He's still afraid of that flank, it looks like. Kind of interesting. He's not doing any reverse pressure or counter pressure rather on this level 2 tower, which some players like to go for. Like Sako loves pressuring aggro players by doing that.
I am a bit surprised about this wasp on the flank from Sako. I know that he does have quick TP, but I feel like you would expect the Farseer to be in the exact spot that it is.
Yeah, what's the time to kill on on a Farseer against like a stationary wasp pack? Like maybe it's just like fine, I'm not sure.
I think, yeah, it should be able to dispatch of it relatively quickly. I mean, the crawlers will likely get targeted first,
Oh
but with
yeah,
an
true.
Arclight there, we'll have
Yeah,
to see. Oil has been deployed for Agri. We'll try and slow down this entire army, which should be successful. We get range on the Arclights for Sako as well.
yeah, this just looks great for Agrypnocoma to me. Like in most aspects, like the one thing to look for is like maybe the Saber's gonna somehow carry. It looks like the Farseer will eventually get the tower on the right. It is fortified.
Yeah, that'll take some time. The oil is doing a great job of slowing things down because the Farseer was quite busy dealing with the entire flank.
Man, that oil is painful.
Yeah, and now we'll get the debuff as Sako has just about made it through the oil.
Yeah, pretty convincing win here. I think I agree. The flanks didn't really work out. Hopefully, he doesn't get too fancy, like maybe getting baited by quick TP a tiny bit.
Yeah, it doesn't have redeployment or anything, and Wasp are the only thing with jump drive available, so has to be a little bit careful. We do get unit reinforcements on round 5, so very quick game here, picking up a lot of pace.
Yeah, definitely. A big Phoenix here is like the most attractive, like carry basically. The others are more like tempo, like build all across the board. Definitely viable picks though.
Get so many deployments out of them as well.
Yeah, wow, Agrypnocoma going for some pressure here.
I can see him going for these phantoms because he already has 3 marksmen to be able to deal with the potential phoenixes. So just grabbing something that is a lot of deployments and a little bit annoying to deal with makes some sense.
Yeah, and like Phantom Rays are countered by Wasp, but okay, hold on. We got a Fortress. That is huge.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. With a Phoenix to back it up too, and a deep flank, quick TP crawler coming in, distracting the Farseer. What is our anti-air situation here? So the Wasp will take care of the Phantom Ray flank. Oh no, he's moving it around. So we have a Phoenix and a Wasp for it, basically. And Agrypnocoma sold one Phantom Ray, so not committing to it, just going to be annoying with it.
Now, currently, the flank there is completely open. That's a nice read from Agri, kind of accepting the bluff and saying, you're going to move those wasps somewhere else this turn.
Yeah, super interesting. We got a Sentry coming out. That's going to kill the Fang Pack right in front of the tower, leaving a big opening there. Maybe not in time, though. Phoenix is
Phoenixes will
connecting on the
get
Phantom.
rid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
huge.
But those phantoms are making a way to that level 1 tower from Sako, although the Phoenix has also found its mark, and so it's
Oh,
going to be Sako with the debuff first.
crazy. Maybe minus 50 here.
Whoa. That Phoenix hitting so hard. Did it just one-shot a Farseer doing debuff? I think it did.
Yeah. Level 4 Phoenixes go hard, man.
Well, the marksman, not a slouch itself, ends up clearing the Phoenix pack and gets rid of one fortress.
Yeah, we talked about fortresses being hard to transition into, and again, we're going down to like, what is this, sub 1000? Oh my
It
gosh.
is. Yeah, those Farseer deal a lot of damage.
Yeah, Farseers are so annoying.
Steel
Okay.
production line is a greedy card to take for Sako. We'll opt for the smoke bomb instead.
Yeah, could be a huge reward if it's neglected here from Agrypnocoma. Agrypnocoma taking his time here. Hard to say whether any of these make sense for him. Like Acid Blast is a powerful spell against giants, of course, but there's a lot of room for Sako to navigate because since he hasn't committed anything yet.
And speaking of navigation, sells the fortress that was on the line on the right side, beacons the other one, and jump drives his phoenixes to the left side. So it seems like he'll just be avoiding the smoke from Agrypnocoma entirely.
Yeah, huge reward here. And clicks the Fang summoning. That's going to be super handy against possible air threats as well as just, countering melters or other such problems he could run into. Now the question is, can he survive through all of these Farseers? There is actually three of them on the board. We have a big marksman as well, so there is some single target. Oh, a war factory.
Oh boy.
Really far forward, commits the armor, loans, does all the temp stuff. Agrypnocoma wants to kill.
Uh, I'm not sure Sako can kill this. He
His
would have needed
Phoenix.
the phoenixes to. Yeah, but they're on the other
Yeah.
side of the board.
Yeah. Hmm.
Also, this
Yeah, I think
fortress is gonna get insta-locked.
yeah, that's the problem. Kind of a sweet move here. Like we've talked all day about fortresses dying to tempo and like what better way than a fortress? A war factory.
That's one fortress down already. There's one more on the flank on the left side, but this is a scary unit to deal with, and it will make its way to the towers, so debuffs are not far away. Same thing for Sako, however.
There goes the towers for both players, but there's just so much stuff here left. Maybe you can get an Airwin if you can cheese the Farseers, but no, I don't think so.
Oh, the damage is just so huge, and the Farseers are now staying alive because of that debuff timer. Phoenixes will fall as well, and a factory plus two Farseers, that's simply going to be game.
Round six, quick Agrypnocoma win here.
It is starting to be a bit uncanny how often this guy ends the game on round six.
One thing I will say is that I do think Agrypnocoma was quite favored here with the SPCs. Farseer is like, either S tier or high A tier. Ariel, I don't even know where to place it, but it's certainly not near the top.
No, it's you kind of have to play specific comms with it to be able to get some value out of it. But yeah, I think most of its value lies in the fact that it often has high HP packs. Um, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so hopefully Sako can get into his comfort picks, either any of the 300 cost ones or quick supply, something like that. I can't remember what his options were, so I'm not sure if he misplayed the selection. I think there was like a fire badger or something. Maybe that was in a different game, but in any case, his life is on the line. It would be kind of an upset for Sako not to make it through. Like I am excited for Agrypnocoma, of course. I mean, he just keeps delivering, but Sako is a crowd favorite, a friend of mine, a friend of yours, so it'd be great to see him get through.
I mean, we at least want one more game, right? We don't want these best of threes to just be 2-0s. And
Yeah,
if Agri makes it through here, it means that we'll have a 201 finals with 501 not being represented in season 2. So
that's
lots to
true.
play for on both
That's true.
sides.
Yes. I mean, we've had such a balanced tournament, and it's been crazy that it's happened in both season one and this season. Like every single group, it's been two 201s getting, or sorry, one 201 getting through, one 501 over and over and over. So for it to all of a sudden not happen for the finals would be a little bit sad because I love the balancedness. It's been great to see representation, get to know, who's the strongest among 201s, non 201s.
Yeah, and
So
otherwise, like we'll get this like similar storyline, right, where NA just gets clowned on in any competitive game, and that's not what we want to have. Not in Mechabellum, all right. 501 represent like we can play, and I say that as a European, but
true.
let's go NA.
Yeah. Hey, at least NA is beating EU for once, We don't usually do that in
All
esports.
right, okay, like unnecessary, unnecessary. I'm with you guys, right? Don't try and push me away.
Yeah, you're 501, don't worry. I have big respect for, the people in EU who make themselves the 501 tag and try and fit in. You're all right with me.
uh,
We claim it. 501 is NA, we claim it. Even though it's just English speaking, which is, fairly universal.
yeah, and then we can. I mean, it is NA, but is it an A or is it America?
Oh, I mean, obviously it's USA. I mean, is there any other country in North America?
Well, I mean, I'm asking you as the Canadian. I'm
Yeah.
asking Sako as a Canadian.
501 is the British Empire. Yes, surely. Surely, chat. Sako is not USA, Canada proud. All right, all right. I mean, I think Sako himself says he's American, so you'll have to take that up with
Pretty
Sako.
sure I've heard him chant USA before in the chat. Roll the clip.
Yeah, for real.
Anyway, game number 2, best of 3. Sako's tournament life on the line.
Yeah, sweatiest game for him in a long time, that's for sure. We do get one of his comfort picks. I mean, there is pretty good economies there in multiple different ways.
Amplify spec not looking too bad if you want sledges, but ends up going for the Sabertooth Specialist instead. It is a sledge pack as well, but low hit point starter, 3900.
Yeah, I preferred it over the Farseer spec. It is 100 less supplies, but better tempo. Agrypnocoma going for Giant Specialist. I think Agrypnocoma is really good at using Giants. So this is a formidable pick for him, I think.
Yeah, we've seen him play Melters, Double Shot Fortresses, the War Factory. So far, it's
Yeah,
been looking good, and it seems like he does prioritize these steel ball packs a lot. I think it's like his third pack that he's
I
played
think
so
so.
far.
Yeah, really interesting. He's making them look good. I mean, he's using mobiles. He's utilizing it in many different ways. So definitely kind of comfort picks for him and giant spec. While not everybody likes it, they can definitely create lots of supplies and mind games.
Okay, I think Sako here will be quite happy. Goes for a classic defensive setup. So 2 squares in from the tower, 3 squares up. We'll be able to pull anything on the board on round 1. And Agri here opting to go symmetrical, which is usually not that great, I think, into sledge openers. We'll have to see.
Yeah, this is such a unique placement from him. It's not super normal to go for symmetrical balls, and he's like again putting them pretty far back compared to a typical aggro.
But yeah, for any like Sako fans, I think he should be favored here, at least in the early rounds in terms of the matchup and the positioning.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, his position is just great in general. As long as he doesn't lose a bunch of HP in the early game with his low HP total, should just have a comfortable game.
Still a pretty close round 1, but that Arclight DPS should secure the round. And yeah, Sako at least not going to lose too many hit points at the start, which is a good sign because he does have a low HP starting pack.
Yeah, for sure. Gonna take round one, and I don't think there was steel ball levels or anything like that, so nothing bad going his way so far.
Ooh, heavy armor. It's a pretty good thing to pick up, I think, for Agri, but we have seen him love those spells, and the Wasp Swarm is available too.
Yeah, I'm the type of player who will pick Wasp Swarm and use it defensively, and then put like something else. Like I like to put it below one of my towers so that I have the middle and that tower side covered, and then the other side I do something like Fang or whatever tower fort. Looks like he's thinking the same thing roughly, so he doesn't want to go for the heavy armor in order to protect his towers.
But this is a bit of a gamble, though. There's multiple things Sako can do. If he throws it In the middle of Agrypnocoma's board, it definitely will be dealt with, but I think if he throws it on the side, it will get in.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a good shot if he goes for it. He still hasn't used it yet. Maybe thinking about it here.
Also, Sako does have access to a saber tooth. For now, it's in the middle, but I think that's probably where it spawned. Don't know if that's where he wants to keep it. Agri opting to go for a phoenix now. And Sako did pick up some fangs, but those will have to stay alive to be able to deal with those phoenixes.
Sako get debuff here. Looks
Yeah, he
looks
will.
amazing. That's huge. Could be a
Yeah,
pretty
that's the
big win
downside
here.
of that spell.
Yeah, I think it's also like a downside of putting it in the middle. Like you can just put it below your tower and that doesn't happen to you. There's like really not an upside to putting it in the dead center that I'm aware of. Like there's a tiny upside, but not a big one.
Yeah, he could have covered at least two of the potential um, spots instead of only the one.
Yeah.
Well, great round for Sako. Lots of damage, and that's Agri already down to 3,200 now as we enter round 3. And with that,
Yeah.
we have our first set of unit reinforcements.
Yeah. Got some interesting stuff here. I mean, Sandworm just lets you go into giants. Now Agrypnocoma is giant SBC. Picks the rhinos. I wouldn't be surprised if he's selling those, like maybe one in the flank, but yeah, sells one
Yes.
immediately. Phoenixes for Sako and Fire Badger picked up.
Very quick play. It's a very strong setup. Those Fire Badgers are not to be underestimated. They are chaff clear, but with 3 levels, they can definitely contest the Steel Balls as well.
Yeah, for sure. Fortress, here we are. And what timing with the Phoenixes coming out.
Yeah, Agri not shy to show his hand. He's a giant spec after all, so giants it will be. And that fortress hits the board immediately on round 3.
Yeah, and looking at the text of Sako here, he does have Energy Shield, but he doesn't have the Phoenix Revive like you run, so potentially not able to go all the way in Phoenixes here. Maybe just going to stay on two of them, and I'm hoping for his sake he has a strong response here to the Fortress.
Yeah, I feel like you probably will have to get into Melter somehow. Nice missile there for Sako.
Yeah, big value there. I think he's looking all right for this particular round. Just worried for him down the road, I suppose. He is against like the best scaling comp in the game, or at least one of them.
He is, but this looks to be an immense amount of damage.
Yeah, seriously. Definitely
This is
over
like,
1k.
yeah, I would say 1,500 maybe. And with
Yeah,
3,100 hit points remaining, like, you don't need many of those.
yeah, strongly agree. That's looking very, very good for him. So maybe another situation where Fortress can't get online. We'll have to see. Will the Phoenix is level 2? That's something great. No, just shy. 11 experience missing on that pack.
And honestly, I think you're pretty happy to just keep the Phoenixes around. Although I say that, Orbital Bombardment shows up on this round.
Yeah, now you have two reasons to sell them. Maybe that's enough to do it. It's hard to say. Sell button's there. Are we doing it?
We do get
I,
the Melter purchase here immediately from Sako. I think he understands that Agri needs more Fortress deployments to be able to justify something like Fang production. And until that time, Melter should be able to deal with this quite easily.
yeah, the barrier's like really nice too. Might protect from the orbital bombardment. His left tower though, really exposed. We have a jump drive coming out. Is that to try and dodge the orbital or to try and flank? It looks like a flank, but missiles are here from Agrypnocoma.
Yeah, it's a bit of both, right? And the other one also protecting the tower. We saw a missile come out last turn, so maybe we see that again, although the resources have now been depleted, so never mind.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it takes a long time to fall. There's like a blue crawler there, but not all the crawlers run left, I believe. But yeah, we'll have to see.
I agree with some really good reads, though. Realizes that the fortresses have now been shown and goes for range immediately. Still will have the
Yeah,
range advantage over the melting point.
yeah, I like that quite a bit. Definitely the tech you want here. You really don't need barrier or even fang spawn yet.
Keep in mind, however, that Sako went for the nice kind of long-term value of that barrier, whereas Agri went for the spell and it didn't get that much value. The Phoenix did protect the left tower against those steel balls, and it looks like this Melter will simply be fine as there's still some Fangs left alive to protect it.
Yeah, another round for Sako, breaking Agrypnocoma even lower here, getting to really scary hit points here.
I mean, this could just be a round 5 win here for Sako.
Yeah, certainly could be. Super heavy armor. Interesting card for sure, but Wasp Swarm, also very nice to have.
I think, yeah, I was gonna say maybe super heavy could be nice on the Melter, but obviously it already has the barrier tech.
Yeah, I guess you can just buy another one, but yeah, they want the spells.
Ooh, and look at this from Sako. Picks up the Wasp Swarm and jump drives the Phoenixes slightly further back to add some crawlers in front so that they can't be missiled out. Adds the Wasps on top of it as well.
Yeah, lovely play. I mean, we could see like two missiles come out from Agrypnocoma, like one on the tower, one on the crawler there, but we'll see. I mean, there's so much important stuff happening on the battlefield here. You want to kill that melter, you want to kill the tower, so we'll see what he prioritizes.
And look at how much respect he's getting out of Agri. Like, Agri is beaconing backwards the Phoenixes to try and deal with the other flank, buying 2 missiles in the middle and the red side.
Yeah, yeah, very interesting. I guess his thought process is that like this missile might not kill all the wasps. There might be like three that live, and so the phoenix goes back and handles the stragglers.
There will be at least 1 missile on the left, but that'll get
He took the
tanked by
crawlers,
those
yeah.
crawlers.
Oh, a couple lived, so the crawlers are still coming. Don't know if that'll matter much, but
I think Sako should be able to grab a tower here. Let's see how it goes.
yeah, decent delay.
Phoenixes
But
are
oh, the
working
arc
away at
light's
that
stuck.
middle.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, this is just looking like it's game.
Wow. All right, we do get the 1-1. The sweaty best of three with basically like 200 bucks on the line. Like you are 200 bucks richer if you win this best of three compared to lose it. So super sweaty round
Wow.
five. I mean, he one upped him, right? Round six now,
Yeah.
round five.
If you thought Agri's round 6 win was fast, Sako just said, hold my beer.
Yeah. Huh. So what's the Fortress win rate today? It's like pretty even, right? Or is Fortress actually losing at this point?
I think it might be.
Very interesting. Like the players are just like getting better at punishing it. Like
I mean, we
I
got
don't know.
like the one win in round 1 between Agri and Sako where Sako played it, but I think all the other times so far it's failed. No, actually, Agrypnocoma did pick up a win with it as well, with range and double shot.
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, it seems like a slippery slope. I don't know. I think it's like a little bit too easy to play, like especially in like slightly lower MMR than these beasts. But I'm not sure if it's like actually needed to be nerfed. Um, I don't know. I feel like they're like slightly over, maybe not overrated, but like exaggerated, I guess.
I mean, I think it's still like a unbeatable late game type of unit. Like the games that we've seen now is like you just get out tempoed. But
Hmm.
I think sometimes that is a bit of a hard ask. Like if you won't always be in a great position, and just tempo them out is not always viable.
Yeah, I
We
agree.
just haven't really seen these comms come fully online. We did see it in like the first game, but like once it gets to like the double tech, that's when it becomes really hard to counter.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll see if players are still confident enough to go for it. I'm still curious about that one game where they picked the Melters compared to the Phoenix. Sorry, the Fortress. Actually, if Arbiter's in chat, Arbiter, you could tell us why you chose the Melting Point instead of the Fortress, because the opponent, I believe, was Agrypnocoma, also didn't take it.
Yeah, that was an interesting turn of events. It probably just was because Melter was offered at the same time as Fortress, so they didn't want to have to like play into that, which is kind of negative tempo.
Yeah, Got a question from chat from Jeremiah. What 200 cost unit is performing the most?
Phoenix?
Yeah, I think Phoenix is probably the answer, and second, maybe Sabretooth? Or maybe Balls, actually, honestly. And also kinda
I think
hackers, like, low key.
yeah. I mean, it's also like what is performing, right? Like Steeball packs and sledge packs have been prioritized a lot.
Yes.
I feel like Phoenixes have been purchased the most in like the early rounds as like a early DPS option, but haven't often been teched. Same with steel
Yeah, that's
balls.
true. Yeah, there's so many, like, polices making sure they don't get OP, right? Like, there's Scorpions, hackers to handle the balls, and then there's Fortress AA for the Phoenixes. So it's like these units are, like, incredibly strong, so you can always buy a few of them or start with them, but, like, it's
Five,
so scary to
four,
commit to it.
three, two,
Yeah, and today like the most teched 200 cost unit has been Spider, but it hasn't really been performing all that well.
Yep. Well, here we are. We are in our final game in our best of 3 here. Both people's lives on the line here, trying to get their ticket into the finals. We've got a nice pack here for Sako with the Farseer Specialist. He loves these tempo packs. Not tempo necessarily anymore, but just huge value economics.
Agri going for the supply spec.
Yep, slowing things down.
And we get the spiders yet again. So today is a real tarantula day from the looks of it.
Yeah, players really giving them a shot here. They've looked
I
okay.
don't
Like, one of the games was close.
Yeah, but it hasn't won yet, right? Two
No.
Arbiter games and one Sako game.
Yeah, one of them, there was like 1,000 HP left on the opponent, and it was like really close. It was the game with those stangs on both sides. But yeah, we'll see.
I think matchup here isn't the worst for Sako. I mean, he probably will end up losing the first round, but definitely playable. And his opponent has a low hit point pack, so a couple of tempo turns, which Tarantulas definitely can deliver sometimes, and you might just get an early win.
For sure, yeah. Some people consider storms to be good at mitigating player damage, so we'll see if that factors into things.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting statement. Definitely in the early rounds, it doesn't tend to lose that hard, except into sometimes like steel balls, but to these like slower, bigger units, it will often find a target to hit.
hmm What do you think about Sako's lowest crawler there behind the tower? Like, he wants it to get pulled by a flank? Like, kind of surprising to me. Get the
Yeah,
perfect split, though. That's nice, I guess. One crawler just couldn't make it through. Wow.
well, Stormcallers have already found the first target there. Now shooting at that left tarantula, which shouldn't be too long for this world as it will just collapse instantly.
Yeah, painful for sure. Maybe crawlers can get it done here. Maybe the arc lights will get stuck on the tarantula here.
Nice tower debuff, but Tarantula has a lot of things to deal with. Needs to get through those arcs and then make its way over to the Tarantula. Couple
Oh
crawlers
yeah.
left alive though, so that'll be a win for Sako on round one.
Yep. We talked about how the player HP is significant, and now we get the saber, so the pressure's mounting.
And Sabretooth will be available for Sako as he mounts the pressure on top of the unit reinforcements. Lots of units hitting the
Yeah,
board here this early on.
for real. I mean, is it Farseer for player damage? Like, it's so good at tempoing people.
It's kind of the best against everything.
Yeah,
I feel
it
like it's
is.
just such a solid round two drop. Like, it's just good against everything. It kind of mitigates some of the cheeses you might see that use air
Yeah,
units.
yeah. And chaff clear is like pretty good early game, and Farseer is like pseudo chaff clear, so kind of just good all around early game pick.
I feel like it's hard to make Farseer not perform, but
Mhm.
Sako goes for the sledgehammer here on turn two.
So that's for a deep flank, right? That's like the only thing Sako uses it for on aggro, I should say. But honestly, I
No, just going to be on the left
uh
side here with the saber.
nah, I don't believe it. There's no way, right? That is so un-Sako, guys. Like, Sako never does that.
Okay, well the thing is, he bought a Phoenix He wouldn't have been able to do so while still getting 2 deployments in if he picked the Farseer. That's like the only thing I can come up with.
Yeah.
But man,
Yeah, that's a
Farseer
good
is
point.
so good.
For sure, yeah.
Like you could probably just delay the Phoenix and run the Farseer instead for this round. Oh, we do get
Okay,
the deep
there we
flank.
go. I told you guys, like, he does not do that.
But yeah, left side here, Crawler plus Farseer from Agri will yield a debuff relatively quickly.
Yeah, for sure. The Phoenix is locked onto the Arclight. That's at least nice. We got a blue crawler as well, but yeah, this debuff is just so painful. What happened to the days of like always fortifying your your tower round two? We've became such greedy
It's
players.
yeah, it's hard though. Like, what are you? I guess like you could pick the Farseer and like double deploy Chaff, and then you would have
Yeah.
100 left. It's a bit of a
Yeah,
tough one on this turn though.
yeah, I'm with you. It is maybe just too painful. You got to do this play and risk it, but Agrypnocoma making some good use out of it.
Oh my, that Farseer is working very hard, but Sako will come out on top. Which is kind of to be expected, as it was his Power Spike turn.
For sure. Got a couple of improved cards here. Yeah, just like not really great cards there. I think I saw extended range Arclight, but players don't really want that either. Of course, Sako would never pick it as he doesn't have any.
And Sako ready to immediately punish this positioning on the left side from Agri, utilizes that mid flank to try and pull that Farseer. I think that arrow is fake though. Oh no, wait, it shouldn't. No, no, no. Okay, now he's trying to push it.
Yeah, I can't tell. Usually this arrow doesn't lie when things are like pretty static in nature, but
He
I
should be fine as long as one crawler is within range of the Farseer. Currently, the Tarantula is sitting outside, but as long as like one crawler can be hit, the arrow should be correct.
yeah. Yeah, I think the arrow's right. And we got the oil coming through here. That oil looks pretty nasty.
Yeah, Wasp being purchased for Agri as well to deal with that sledge flank.
Yeah, really strong commit there. Like Farseer and a Wasp. Like some players on defense really like to crush the flank so that they can just like get back into their army ASAP. Other players like to try and just like ignore it completely, get as little pull as possible. So it's interesting to see the difference. Like Sako is very much not liking to defend the flank.
Yeah, Farseer does get distracted, and that Tarantula and Phoenix that have been added should have a relatively good time.
Yeah, probably, right? Should connect here and kill it pretty promptly.
Spider will be able to tank some missiles, and
Yeah,
so
okay.
we'll be able to get through. Right side is slowed though. Not sure how that's going. The Fangs are killing the Wasps at the very least.
Yeah, it looks fine. He's actually just got a bunch of tempo somehow.
Yeah, Crawler's getting to tower, and that's a lovely debuff timing, so doesn't drop around and just powers through the oil.
Could this be another tempo game?
I mean, Agri's already down to 1900.
Yeah, Phoenix got a level here. We have some equipment, but also some spells. Sako snaps the heavy armor, putting it on a
Yeah,
level 2 Tarantula.
love that. We might get smoke here from Agri.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Otherwise, it's
definitely.
like maybe like a haste mod on the Farseer or a Wasp, but
Yeah. Maybe Sako plays around the smoke that's not even coming, though. He loves to do this. He sees ground effects and he's like, all right, I'm mobile beaconing away. And there's already oil, so it already sort of just makes sense.
well, at least the Phoenixes will be jump driven, jump drove onto the left side.
Yeah, I love the sentry missile, by the way. Like, it's so important to win this side and to just, like, crush the Farseer. Nasty little wasp flank here. Jump drive was driven.
Was drove.
There's no answer for it, so that could be a sneaky play. Maybe Sako. Oh, just kidding. What a beast. Puts down the sentry missile, so he's fine. And yeah, the haste was put on the Farseer. That'll kill the sledgehammer really quick. I think it's actually a break point. Yeah, it is. So it like cleanly two shots the sledge. I mean, basically one shot because it shoots two rockets. Actually, a lot of Farseers coming out. Kind of interesting.
I mean, it can sometimes regain a bunch of tempo because of how good it is in the early game. It is
Yeah.
obviously a little bit tricky to rely on it though, because in the long term it could get intercepted.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's a really real thing. Like especially if the unit reinforcements are like three Mustangs, and you just take those and press the missile interception tech. Like those Farseers are just useless.
But man, this just looks so powerful from Sako, just not letting his foot off the pedal, and another massive turn will send Agri down to 600. This is a repeat from last game almost.
100%. I think his win probability is really low right now. Like
Oh,
HP is a resource.
there's a javelin as well.
Yeah, I know you love that spell.
It's good.
It is really
You can
good.
just hit a Farseer and the Farseers are
Yeah.
pretty important for Agri here. Like if you lose one plus an Arclight,
Yeah, I'm with you. The scary thing is like maybe you take that and then you lose to some sort of cheese, but I think Sako's looking pretty rock solid. Like he's got anti-air pretty much everywhere. He's got a fortified tower. I don't know. I mean, I love his javelin spot too. Look at that.
yeah, get so much value out of this. And even if he somehow ends up losing the round and this game goes longer, you'll get that back on round 9.
Yeah, that's right. Such a low cooldown for how powerful it is.
Okay, the cheese continues here for Agri. Jump drives the wasps backwards. Same thing we saw from Sako last game, and adds some crawlers in front.
Yeah, nice move. I mean, it will eventually get the tower. Absolutely. That is definitely meaningful. 7-second debuff. Another
Mm,
Farseer. Some
yeah,
bubbles. Missiles
starting to
coming
commit a
out.
lot.
Loaning, temp range.
Ooh, okay, the loan is out. So on round 5, that is very early, but I guess his tournament life is on the line.
Yeah, 100%. These players have worked so hard to get here. And like, there is a lot on the stake here. Loaning just feels right.
Okay, the tower here will get popped, but there's not that much left. Just the Farseer in the middle. Perhaps it'll be able to stop the tower, although the leveled Saber has already locked onto it.
Yeah, so many Farseers just beating down on these units. And we have tons of crawlers on the bottom tower here, so I feel like in Agrypnocomas, maybe this tempo's paying off.
Yeah, looks like he will just about be able to secure the round.
Okay, not as much damage as I thought. And smoke, of course, lowering its duration, only around for one more round. Unit reinforcements are here. We've got like three big units and then four marksmen. Hmm.
That is wild.
Yeah, kind of spicy picks here. I don't even know what's good. I mean, the marksmen feel like fine, I guess.
I mean, the marksmen are theoretically like good into both Wraith and Raiden.
Yeah, this is a Agrypnocoma's favorite unit, right? He has it in his like production asset that we have for him, so he's true to his word. Although, did he sell it?
I think he did.
Okay, traitor. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
That's all for the Raiden highlight.
Next. So we get the
Maybe
marksman
just,
here.
yeah, Sako picked up the marksman. And we get mines coming out. Trying to punish the chaff clear from Agrypnocoma here, which is certainly less than ideal.
Yeah,
I don't
the
really know
Farseers.
where's Agri's money gone. I think he just
Uh,
leveled like 2 Farseers and a Stormcaller.
Yeah, he did loan last round, so he started the turn with what,
Oh,
like
true.
900, and then temp range, 2 levels. That's already most of your money there. But yeah, these Farseers are scary. He's actually buying more. Is it time to see AMDs?
I think Sako will wait out a turn, but now that you see 5,
Hmm.
there might come a turn where Sako just goes War Factory Intercept and, yeah, runs Agri down, because he only needs to win 1 round.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's see if we can kill these Farseers. They are really nasty. I mean, now that they're blue, they deal significant damage, and there's not a lot of DPS on Sako's board in general.
The marksmen are kind of chipping in though, and Sako keeps getting a bunch of value out of the devices here that Agri has been investing in. Bunch of shields going down.
Not much left now, though.
It's another very close round.
Yeah.
Both towers will fall. Oh, the Farseer will just about take it.
Yeah, such a close game here. Like, Agrypnocomas can certainly win this game, but there's so many answers here for Sako.
Oh,
There's
another
the
jab.
Javelin. Yeah, Javelin City here.
I think Agri is in a tough spot still, though. I mean, obviously he's on 600 hit points, but his comp doesn't really scale. And 3.2k hit points, you're going to need something that will beat Sako like multiple times.
Yeah,
And there's like this big weakness, right, to Farseer of when does the interception come out?
yeah. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of play here for Sako, but I think it's pretty scary. Oh my gosh, okay, we're seeing the Missile Interceptor Stangs. He's committing round 7 here. Fang's Shield comes out, kind of a decent move, I guess. This
A
also
little
handles
bit
the Wasp.
surprising.
Yeah. No, I agree. A lot of interesting moves coming out here.
I guess the Mustangs do have a decent value here. They can be good against the Fangs as well, but shielded Fang into Tarantula is usually not the best because of like the potential of HE, but I guess that's still kind of a while off because Sako has clicked Spider Mines.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. I
Hard to
mean,
say.
Sako's got this long term. Like, absolutely. Like, if you buy 3 Mustangs per turn, like, the Farseers will actually do nothing, and that's like the entirety of his army. So I think Agrypnocoma needs some player damage, at least this round, next round.
Yeah, does go for the jab as well, so we'll be able to get rid of a marksman and the tarantula with the heavy armor. Farseer not really getting intercepted. Well, now it is, but it managed to kill a tarantula at the very least. Left side kind of collapsing now, though, for Agri as he's winning the right side.
Yeah, it's looking okay for him. Like, a huge blob of units on the right, and certainly not much left here for Sako. So the game should continue, but I think Sako's in a really good spot here.
Yeah, the problem Agri has is, well, he might have to range his arc lights because currently his shaft gear is just not really there.
Yeah,
Looks like he will be able to overpower the Stangs though. And again, it's a minor win, but he's hanging on for dear life.
yeah, pretty scary for both players here. Nothing crazy in the cards here, like, oh, okay, Sako getting nano. Is there a good target there? Just puts it on a tarantula. I suppose Farseers deal so little damage that it actually could be annoying value here.
We get the EMP out for Agri. It is
I
a spell that
guess.
won him, I think, the game against Arbiter at some point when he
Yeah,
EMP'd the Melter.
I think that's right. I mean, it shuts off the missile interceptor here, which is actually bigger than it looks. The small delay may also hit the other Mustang.
Oh, but Shielded Fang for Sako here looks great as well. I mean, we mentioned the shaft gear being somewhat suboptimal for Agri.
Yeah.
This
Hmm.
could
Does
get a
it
lot of
matter
value.
much against the Farseers? Like, obviously, it impacts the arc lights, but
Yeah, I guess the Farseers do hit like twice, but
yeah.
assuming that you intercept most of the
Oh, good
Farseer
point.
shots,
Yeah, really good point.
EMP now coming out. Well, that's useful against the spider mines for the most part, but apart from that, it's not the most useful.
Yeah, there's a slow effect. I assume he's doing it just like preemptively to stop stuff, but yeah, it doesn't look amazing here. But only costing 100, just sort of doing it to be safe because there's a lot of threats that Sako can be creating here.
Wow, and just more Farseers coming out from Agri. He's just doubling down.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a cool way to win for sure. I think Sako just needs to make 3 Mustangs per turn, and he's easily got this. I think he only made 2, though, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he flanked with a Tarantula, I believe, in the deep flank there.
And the Farseers are managing to lock on here. It seems like the Mustangs are not quite able to intercept everything.
Yeah, could be a problem if they don't work their magic, because that's kinda why you're buying them. I don't know what the problem is. Maybe he just needs some supplementary AMDs?
Yeah, like you could buy a factory with AM as well again for one turn, but you'd have to make sure that it doesn't get hit by the EMP.
Yeah. This is why I said it's scary for both
Oh
players, like,
boy.
one turn and, like, this happens to you, so, like, so scary here. I don't know, I think Vulcan plus Oil's gotta be on their mind here, like, when you're in a gut shot range, like, the only thing that matters is 1 round. Also, we have the Orbital Javelin back for Sako here.
Yeah, that's that value. Picked it on round 5, has it back off cooldown now, and Agri can't say the same. Both players do pick up that Vulcan, and Smoke is available once more for Agri. Lots of spells here to deal with.
Yeah, madness here, like, there's so much to think about, like, are bubbles good? Do you spam anti-missile devices? Do I buy Mustangs? Do I buy the War Factory? Do I need more Phoenixes to kill them? Like, you need DPS as well, so oil must be coming out. Yeah, Sako's purchased the oil. I think Agrypnocoma's Vulcan drop is, like, just a whiff, like, it'll kill a bit of crawlers, that's it.
Yeah, luckily those towers are leveled, so shouldn't get too much value there. And we do get the oil. Agri, 1350 resources left. What's going to be the play? One of his Farseers will bite the dust because of that Javelin cells out of the Stormcaller, so those won't get hit at the very least.
More
But will he
Mustangs.
remember about the oil play?
Oh my god, this is so intense. All comes down to this.
950 resources, more Mustangs being purchased as he
Oh,
realizes he
time
needs to deal with
pressure.
the Shielded Fangs.
We got some serious time pressure here. 550 to spend,
Oh,
5 seconds left. Oh my god,
okay, there's
spam
the
the shields.
shields.
Okay, okay. He has attack enhancement level 2 at the last second. I'm not sure how good that was. That javelin lands for Sako.
Oh, we'll hit
Oil
some new
partial.
Mustangs.
Yeah, true. All right, we're retreating to the right side here for Sako. He wants all his resources on the right. The smoke looks like pretty strong there for Agrypnocoma on the left. Will we get tower here? A lot of mines
Should be
too.
able to. Yeah, those high level Phoenixes hit like a truck.
Big
As
ball here for
opposed,
Sako. So much
yeah,
stuff.
Sako hitting like a truck, but the truck's not delivering for Agri so far. I'm
Wait,
not
the
sure he'll be
Vulcan.
able to deal with this army.
Oh my god. The Vulcan got through
Double
though.
debuff?
Maybe it
Surely
doesn't
that's
matter.
still
He's in the
too many
smoke.
units, right? I mean, the intercept doesn't care about the debuff, so the last Farseers are just unable to connect.
Oh
And that
my
would be
gosh.
Sako closing things out.
Whew, what a game. Oh my god. First years are scary, man.
Yeah, that was a little bit close for comfort, I'd say. Down to 646 and well played by Agri, holding on for dear life with a very risky composition. In the end, those Mustangs will prevail, aside the spells that Sako did pick up. But yeah, what a game to close out this best of three.
Man, it is so bittersweet. Like, I'm happy Sako got through in a way, but Agrypnocoma was so great this season. Like, it would have been cool to see him get through too.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I'd be very much looking forward to seeing him perhaps show up in season 3 as well, as he's been performing like a demon so
Yeah,
far. But it is going to be Sako going through. And so, how crazy is that? Season 1, the finals was Sako v Flower Fairy, and season 2, it looks to be Flower Fairy v Sako once again.
yeah, just madness. I mean, I think there's no question who are the best players in Mecha Bellum right now.
I mean, you can't really have much better of a consistency like tick next to your name than this.
Definitely. And like every single season we've had crazy players. Like it's not like they've had, easy brackets or anything like that. I mean, they actually were in each other's brackets in the round of 8, so
Well,
crazy
speaking of
stuff.
Sako, welcome. Congrats on your win.
I think he can't
Oh,
breathe. He's too excited.
oh no.
Dude, I'd be
I hope.
sweating.
Yeah, the nerves. Finally. That was a very sweaty last game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm super excited to hear his thoughts. Chat, feel free to post your questions if you have anything you'd like to ask Sako. I'm curious, how he's going to prepare against Flower Fairy. I'm curious his thoughts on Fortress.
Curious his thoughts on the last game. I mean, I feel like we've seen a lot of games today just being a little bit unconventional. Lots of spiders being picked with varying results, mostly unsuccessful, but some
Yeah,
different
100%.
meta picks from the looks of it. Welcome, Sako. Looks like we have some technical difficulties still.
Unfortunate.
The wonders of Discord.
Hello.
Hello?
For my Discord settings just always get messed up. Hello.
Congrats on
Oh
your
my
win.
god.
Congrats.
No, I wasn't even stressed at all. That was relaxing. I was not worried at all. Oh my god. The last game was crazy.
Yeah, that was a nail biter for everyone watching as well. What were you thinking in that last game? Did you think you were in control? Were you
Yeah, honestly,
confident
I
you would
was
win?
well, I kind of trolled by not boring when I could have finished the round, but like I saw him committing to Farseer, which is like there was some tempo on the Farseer for sure, and then a lot of spells are a pain to deal with, like the smoke and all that. But I was, even though I was full HP, I had the Mustang AMs lined up. I wasn't entirely worried until that one round where I like just randomly died. I think I lost to the oil. I don't know what happened, but after that though, yeah, I don't know. I'm just all over the place. But yeah, I was confident, but then I lost confidence. But then near the end, I was like, okay, I can play around the smoke, no problem. And then anti-missile Mustangs outscale the Farseers. So
So game 1, you picked aerial SBC and it didn't really go super well. Um, why did you pick aerial SBC and what were your thoughts on that game?
was Air SPC the one I pushed with Sledge? Oh, it was right against Agri.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, well, I forget what the packs were. I think sledges are the best, or I think one of the better, or like my top two picks for openers is sledges and balls because they don't have any like bad matchups per se. It's not the best aggro pack, but I just prefer sledges over everything else, sledges and balls. I think I just messed up. I just went for too many cheese plays. Like all I had to do was stack one side and it had the early tempo, then commit the forts because like the War Factory play was a one-turn cheese. It definitely worked because I was low because I made some early mistakes before, but I just think I made a lot of early game mistakes to not allow me to scale into late game. Because like late game, I just go fort spam and win, but I just made too many early mistakes. So yeah, that's what cost me the game. Too much cheese.
And do you have any thoughts on like Spider? Because we saw it a lot today. Arbiter playing it a lot. I think you picked it twice as well. Do you think it fits well in the meta, or is it something that you'll probably try and avoid considering how it performed?
Well, the first game I played against Fly Fairy, I chose Spider because all four packs were absolute garbage. Like, what was that? Like, Elite Spec, Marksman, Mustang, Spider, Marksman. Like, what am I? What is this? It's trash. But,
Hey, 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 no elite spec slander. What do you mean? That was a good pack.
Yeah,
but
it
yeah,
was
it
so
was.
good.
I was actually just in shock. I've never seen that many bad packs, at least in a tournament setting. But I think so. Spiders have like three bad matchups, so I don't like picking them at all because of that. But into players that are known to headbutt a lot, I think they're really good because Spider is the best non-rare unit in a headbutt, like hands down. Like it's even better than Wraith because you can get it down earlier. Techs are cheaper. There's no AA tech, all that. So I think Spiders, although they do have bad matchups, so that's why I avoid it. They are the best headbutt unit, and they're pretty good into aggro, especially well if they don't have storms or balls. But or like storms is probably the biggest threat, and balls are problematic for like one or two turns. But yeah, I just think yeah, spider headbutt is just so strong. But like I don't prioritize it as a pack. I just take it if I have to.
So your final opponent is going to be Flower Fairy once again. I think that is absolutely crazy, and kudos to making it to the finals once again. So my question is, what do you think the weakness of Flower Fairy is, and how do you plan to exploit him?
Okay, this dude, you never want to see him like below 500 HP. Holy smokes! Like, first of all, I also misclicked that game. I was supposed to jab instead of take the haste module. Like that game, I should have won. I think against Flower Fairy. I just misclicked, and then the melters got there. But I think I think it's just tempo. Tempo is the way I'm gonna win outside of fort spam. So that's what I'm gonna be going for. Like the dude is just so stable. Like he's so greedy. But if he stabilizes and he's like below 1,000 HP, you better watch out because
Yeah.
this dude goes for like the missile spam, the temp range. He goes for he just knows how to play on death's door and not die. I think he's really good at that. So I think it's just pure tempo or fort spam. That's my plan. I think it's just I don't know. Fort spam is it's just broken. So and on aggro and defense is all you can really do as a late game comp outside of like tempo. So one of the other. I think.
And so, could we expect more aggro out of you then? Because if I take you back to the season one finals, which was between you and Flower Fairy as well, I think you got a lot of great games in playing standard and like kind of abusing Arc Worm, which was very strong back then. Do you think that that's kind of fallen out of favor, or do you not like the standard matchups as much anymore?
Well, this season I've played like as minimal standard as physically possible. I hate standard. Standard is literally is only Vulcan Marksman is the only viable comp, at least for a late game thing. So that's all you can play, and if you don't play that, you lose. So I hate playing that. So like I know how to play it more or less. I mean, I don't have as many reps as Flower Fairy probably does, but I just do whatever the packs tell me to do, and I take them. But you know, if we see myself in standard, you know what to expect.
Well, you were great at standard in the first season. I don't think you 3-0'd Fairy with standard. I think one of the games was maybe aggro, but like you looked great. And back then, I think it was primarily arc lights. So do you think that arc lights and like maybe worms aren't as good anymore?
Yeah, I think so. What made Arclight Worm good is, of course, Worm is a big threat. It's a lot of tempo. It's hard to deal with. But the main, like, actual selling point of Arclight Worm was the arc lights, in my opinion, right? Like, you just had these elite marks from arc lights scaling behind the worms. So not only did you have to deal with the worm, you also had to deal with the arc lights. And with XP nerfs, I think it hit it a lot. And with the marksman spam with the shooting squad, ignite, fang, shield, like it doesn't feel as good compared to that. So it just Vulcan marksman way more stable. As like marksman's like the best unit in standard. Everything else sucks. Melters suck. Forts suck. Well, mass produced fortresses maybe they're fine in standard, but I think
Yeah.
just Vulcan marksman is the most stable. And well, we're playing on a new patch too, right? So might
Yeah,
have
like arc
to.
lights, lost experience. Oh, oh,
That's
true.
the
What the
finals
heck?
is brand new territory. So I'm
Oh,
assuming Fortress is still broken, so I'm going to use that, but it's going to change up a lot, and it's going to be a spicy finals, I would say.
oh my
Yeah,
God,
it's going to
true.
be one day after the patch is live as well, right?
Yeah, I hope you got your beta access in.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I can
I'm
say
not
that to
touching
you.
this trash patch. I'm on the new future.
Looks
All
like we
right,
have Flower
Flower
Fairy and
Fairy,
Stony joining us as well.
Hey
welcome.
guys, how's it going?
Good.
I mean, we've got some great content, so all happy over here.
So, Flower Fairy, question for you. So, in the first season, Sako was able to 3-0 you but this time you were able to get the better of him. Do you think that you figured out Sako?
OK，我发现在第一季的时候，Sako 是以3-0的赛况把你给打赢了。那这一季你把他给打回去了，那你觉得到这一季你对 Sako 的了解是否更多了？
Sako 是一个非常值得尊敬的对手，他的水平与我不相伯仲，我和他也互有胜负。我觉得无论谁输谁赢都是很正常的事情。中国有句古话叫“胜败乃兵家常事”，虽然他之前3-0战胜我，但是我觉得我还是跟他是旗鼓相当的对手。
Okay. Flower Fairy believes that Sako is an extremely respectable player, extremely strong, and he sees him as his rival. And it doesn't surprise him that sometimes Sako would take a few games off him, and he would also take a few games off Sako. And he's very much looking forward to taking on Sako once again in the finals.
Rooster, you have any question for Flower Fairy?
I guess I would say maybe let's get like a meta read if that's possible. Like what comp currently do you prefer playing? And maybe without telling us too much if you've got some secrets for the finals, but what do you expect to see next week?
OK，花轩，想问一下关于现在你对这个战场大局的一些认识，就是说你想现在决赛你应该会在哪方面做更多的准备呢？当然你不需要把你所有的秘密都给透露，就是你能透露的一些准备。
Sako 是一名偏向于进攻型的玩家，他更喜欢通过侧翼的这个骚扰来攻破这个敌人的防御塔，所以我在今后的对局中，我会更加注重保护我的防御塔，然后更多的去做一个防守吧。然后我相信我还是能在最后的决赛中战胜 Sako 的。
OK，那关于从这个单位和这个初始专家角度来说，你比较偏向什么呢？
众所周知，那个游戏下一周就要更新了，我们这个进行的决赛是会在新版本中进行的，所以对于这些单位，包括平衡性这一块，我可能没有更多的见解。如果从这个版本的角度来说，我觉得可能会更加注重于这个高爆蓝珠和对堡垒的应对，生产尖牙的堡垒和高爆蓝珠这两个比较不太好处理。
Okay, so Flowerfair recognizes that Sako is an extremely aggressive player, capable of very well utilizing the flanks with the goal of tower capturing. So he said for the finals, he'll definitely do more preparation for how to defend the towers and how to be just more well rounded on his defense. In terms of meta, for the current patch, he thinks that the high explosive spiders or high explosive tarantulas is tricky for him to deal with, especially if they're just ramming straight into the tower. But for next week, he mentioned that since the finals will happen after the new patch, he really doesn't have a clear idea of what the balance or the meta will be on the finals. So he'll have to practice a little more before he figures that out.
Yeah, that's going to be very spicy. Can we get Flower Fairy's thoughts on MAG1 in general? Like, this can be a pretty open-ended question, but just like, does he watch the games when he's not playing? Like, who does he enjoy rooting for? Like, any feedback on it? Like, anything like that.
华先生想问一下，你对 MAG1 目前的看法是怎么样？就是你平时不玩的时候，你会不会看一些 MAG1 的内容啊？然后你一般看内容的时候，你会支持谁啊？然后你对 MAG1 总体这个存在，你有什么看法吗？
首先我非常感谢这个Yes Win Big 给我们提供了这个平台，给不同国家的玩家之间创造了交流的平台，然后世界各地的玩家也可以通过比赛，相互对局学习进步，也给玩家提供了展示自己的舞台，然后选手在比赛的过程中也能收获成就感。然后这个比赛也能为游戏吸引更多的新鲜血液，维持游戏的活力。我是非常感谢这个 MAG1 这个比赛的。然后我平常是经常会上论坛看的，然后包括每一场比赛我都有完整的看下来。嗯。
那一般看比赛的时候，你一般会比较鼓励哪一些选手呢？
首先我肯定更希望中国的选手能取得游戏的胜利，但是，我在观看游戏的对局的过程中，我会更倾向于分析这个选手为什么会做出这样的决定，我能不能从中学到东西。对于其他玩家对局的胜负，我没有那么在意。
Okay. So Flower Fairy is extremely grateful for MAG1 and also for Yes Win Big for providing the international platform. He thinks that this is a fantastic platform in connecting people of different countries to showcase their skills, to showcase their different play styles, to create a sense of achievement across the globe, and of course to attract more players. He said that he often watches MAG1 games end to end, and the main purpose when he's watching MAG1 is to learn new strategies. He felt like in each specific server, there's always a certain style, so he loves to watch other players to incorporate those strategies in his current gameplay. He doesn't quite care about who wins or who loses, but he just likes to watch the fantastic expression of skill across MAG1.
Yeah, that's lovely to hear. So, I'd like to get some final words from Fairy to Sako. This can, of course, be like something nice or just like, trash talk, whatever.
好，花仙，那下周我们就要打入总决赛了。那你现在有什么话想要跟 Sako 说？
我想对他说，我会战胜你。然后还是我们要友谊第一，比赛第二。
Okay. Flower Fair said he will for sure win, but he said he will also want to emphasize that it is friendship first, competition second.
Ooh, nice, nice. All right, Sako, can you one up that? Do you have any words for Fairy?
For sure win. Okay. I'm excited. I don't know about friends yet. We'll see after, but good luck and fun.
Stony, can you translate that to Fairy?
Wait, Sako, can you repeat that?
Let's just say we'll see about that and good luck and fun.
OK，然后 Sako 说那胜负未必，然后希望就是祝你好运。
好，
也许赛后会把花仙打得喵喵叫呢。
也许。OK。
All right. That is going to be it for the interview. Thank you so much, Stony, for translating. Thank you, Sako. Thank you, Flower Fairy. So guys, that was a really exciting day. The craziest group I've ever seen in Mechabellum. I'm super excited for the finals. So drop us a follow. Next Saturday will be the finals, same time, 10 o'clock UT. Or sorry, what is it? 2 o'clock UTC, 14 UTC. Yeah. And so now we're rating you Rooster. So give him a watch. He's going to be doing some tournament content. And yeah, see you next time.
Yeah, I'll be losing live.
Cheers.
Thanks for being here.
Yep. Bye bye.
Bye bye.